Welcome.
Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Alina Corrales, aka Blondie, and you are watching Simply Blondie, where I talk about pretty much everything and anything that is on my mind, from the very important stuff all the way down to the BS and everything in between. Hi, welcome back. If you're new, like I said, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell icon to be notified, and I talk about pretty much everything. I am going live now, actually started last week, every Mondays and Thursdays. It's a temporary setup for now. Aiming to start doing more shows later down the road, but for now, this week is going to be the last time I'm going to be streaming at 4 p.m. I'm going to be start streaming at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be 8 Eastern Standard Time. Because it doesn't give me much time. Okay, so I sound a little bit off today, because today, like my month kicked in, so I'm a little bit more groggy and exhausted. So I don't know how I'm gonna manage because I do have my tea with me today. So I'm gonna manage. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna push through because I've done streams already dealing with this biot bullshit that I'm dealing with right now. Hi. Hello. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Hi. I'm like out of it right now, so I'm not even paying attention to. So right now, down below, you see my social media. You can follow me there on Instagram, Twitter, as well as the Clock app. I always forget that I have a Twitter. I should be more active on that, but I get a little intimidated by people when they are like on it so heavy on it. And get the fuck out of here. Hold on, I'm sorry. I saw my Facebook open. Oh, I had my Facebook open. I had my Facebook open for like a second for a reason too. Because last week on Monday, when I was live streaming about my review on Renfield, I thought I was live streaming on there, and for some bizarre reason, it had it under only me. Like I can only watch it, nobody else. So I was kind of a little baffled and a little peeved by that. So give me one quick second. I do want to add this to my Facebook, and I just got to figure it out as to how. And I think oh, there we go. Now it's logging in. So I'm gonna give me one second. I'm gonna see something because I want to be able to not only stream on my YouTube channel, but I actually want to stream on my Facebook. I will try my best to be more proactive on social media too. But give me one quick second. We're gonna start. I have like a whole intro for me. Just give me one second. Okay, so now it shows everybody. This is why I don't like social media that much, because sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate with me and it just starts acting out completely. So today, like the title says, tipping culture, is it getting out of hand? Now, I have the privilege of having two people that are from both sides of work, I guess, work styles. Now, three of these people, including myself, so I'm a third person. One has worked in food and beverage and understands the tipping culture and how it's getting out of hand. One has probably never worked in tipping culture or have never really worked for tips, and another one has seen both sides. So I don't know what we're gonna say, but let me just start bringing them in one by one. I gotta see if I can remember how to do this. So let me switch things over real quick. So yeah, please bear with me. So once again, I have one of my closest friends from high school. She was here last time. Let me introduce to you guys the one, the only Molly, aka Purple Freckles.
Hi.
Hi,
Hey,
how are
Lena.
you? Hi,
Good,
how
good.
are you?
I'm good, hon. Glad to be back again. Thank you for inviting me in.
You
I
you're
appreciate it.
welcome. I know that the last time we spoke, you wanted to do Disney stuff, and I had one on Thursday, but you have your spooky thing, which I was like, oh, she does
You
spooky stuff without me? How dare she?
look like it's a co-stream, so it's like with other people who do video games on like Twitch and stuff like that. You know, I still love doing the spooky things with you. I do the spooky things with anybody. I'm everybody's spooky girl.
No, I'm just kidding with you. I wanted you kind of like promote your spooky stories with your friends that you
Oh,
do with. That's why.
I appreciate that.
But Molly, if I'm correct, you worked in food and beverage at one point.
Yes, I actually have been a server in 3 different restaurants over the span of 10 years. So I know a thing or two about tipping and how things are right now regarding it. Well, not right now. Right now, I am currently not working. I haven't worked in a restaurant in about 3 years. I had
Ooh,
left my last restaurant job for an office job, but the experience is still there. It was 10 years. So I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly.
yeah. Same here, because I mean, I'll mention my little back history in a second, but let me introduce my good friend. He had a great show over the weekend that I still talk about it with him every so often. Every time I see him pop up on my Instagram, I just send him the most random gifts of yeeting somebody. So you guys seen him already several times. Let me introduce you guys one more time to the one, the only KA slash aka Phil Reynolds. Hello, Phil.
What's
Phil.
good? I'm here. What's up?
Oh, hey, no, I just brought you in.
He's audio only today.
Ayo, what's up?
Oh, that's right. Phil, yes. So everyone, Phil is just audio for today, I guess, because his camera's not working. So Phil, you can hear us, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm right here.
Okay, no, because I have you on live right now. That's why.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
So Phil, you have no okay. Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry by chance, or no?
Yes, I worked at a Winn Dixie for like 7 years.
Oh wow. Okay, so food and beverage actually that's service industry,
It
if
would be,
I'm
yeah.
correct.
In our cases, what we have worked, Lena, is service industry.
Okay. Well, technically, you worked directly with food and beverage. That's all food and beverage is like waiters and all that.
Yeah,
And then Phil worked in service, which is like grocery stores.
right.
Yep,
Okay. All right.
Am
and I
I
will
the only
never go
one
So
that's
back.
actually
I
worked for
would, I,
tips?
I
And I
think
will
so.
never ever
But
go
here's
back.
the thing. Here's the kicker is that I actually went to culinary school. I worked in the back of the house. I worked as a pastry cook. And then I went to the front of the house, worked as a hostess for about a year and a half, and
Oof.
then worked again behind the scenes managing 5 different restaurants in South Florida for a bit before I moved out here. And now I actually do work for tips doing DoorDash.
Ah,
So yeah, so I have both sides of experience with when it comes to tippings and all that. So before we
right.
get started, let me give you guys a really quick bit a brief history about tipping because I didn't even know. I had to go look it up to see when exactly tipping started. And ironically, tipping started in the late 1800s. I thought it was something like fairly new, which, during the 1900s, early start of the 1900s, but it started in the late 1800s where American tourists will go to Europe. And basically, whenever they go eat somewhere, they'll just leave some money on the table. Now, that caused a lot of issues because, I mean, obviously, who would get the money? The restaurant or the person that was serving them. So it wasn't something that a lot of people did. Only the rich would do that, kind of a way to flaunt their wealth to other people.
Huh.
So I was like, "Oh, how ironic. Let me
So are we
show you how
saying?
much."
So are we saying this might be the history's very first flex?
Yeah, basically, it'd be
Actually,
history's
maybe.
first flex in a sense.
You may
But
not be far off from that.
in the 1920s is when people in the US actually started tipping at the restaurants they would go to. It
Hmm.
wasn't until 1950s is when they started doing like a percentage, and it started off at 15% before gradually going up to 20% where we're at today. Now, tipping is something that we're taught at a very young age when we were kids. When every time we see our parents go, or when we go with our grandparents or even our parents to restaurants or get a haircut or do our nails or go to the airport, because we were just talking about the airports and Florida being flooded, we always tipped people for helping us, right? Or serving, doing, meeting our wants and needs. And me as a kid, like I was taught that tipping was the polite thing to do, and it is. But then when COVID kicked in, things, I feel like things got out of hand when COVID kicked in.
Hmm. Oh, it did.
Oh, yeah.
I was still
So,
working during the time of COVID.
Oh no! I was in the law office. I didn't have that luxury until after I got out and I started
There was
working.
no luxury in that. Sorry.
No, but
It's a nightmare.
the thing is
I
that in
I was doing school security during the time of COVID, so
so see, we're the thing is that when what's it called? Because like the thing is that I've mentioned in my last live stream, actually on Thursday, I did mention that I do have some stories revolving around tipping that prompted this prop. So I'm going to tell you guys the stories. We'll get your guys' opinions about how the tipping culture is, and the stories that I'm going to tell you. I want you to figure out which one of them tipped me, and I'll explain what happened. All right. So the first story, I'm not going to say how much, I'll say it after. So the first story, I was recent when I first got out here to Arizona. I started door dashing in California in August of 2021. And I moved out here at the end of December 2022. So when I started door dashing, I love the fact that I do grocery shopping. That's the one thing I do like to do, is picking up groceries for people. Kind of like Instacart. So I had to pick up groceries for this woman, and I'm gonna give her a letter. I'm gonna give her A. So I pick up groceries for Miss A, and I thought it was just like 3 items. It ended up turning into about 2 cart full of groceries. 2 carts. So I had one of the hosts help me carry all this stuff into the car, help me pack it in, and ironically, this woman was about 5 minutes away from the store. So I literally just did her entire grocery trip without her actually getting up and leaving. And that's the luxury now we have, is that since we have these delivery services that can pick up and drop off food and, everything for us, people do it nowadays where it's just a lot more convenient for them instead of having to pack up and leave. So I dropped off her stuff. Ironically, her husband was outside. We locked eyes and he ran inside. So I ended up unloading all this stuff and placed it in front of her door, take a picture and leave, knock and leave. That's usually what I do. So yeah, I was kind of a little peeved by it because the husband was out there and
didn't offer to help.
And I had to carry, now I had to carry about 6 cases of water, and each of these cases had 24 bottles of water in it. So I had to carry 6 of those. I had to carry about like 10 cases of soda, 3 gallons of milk.
The fuck?
Like almost 5 cartons, 18 counts of eggs, like basically she was doing a complete restock.
Either that or a huge ass cookout. Shush.
Probably. But I put it all there. I was a little peeved because the husband ran inside, locked eyes, and then comes back out saying, "Oh, is this our order?" I'm like, "Yes, it is." And took off. So I was a little annoyed by this one because of the guy didn't help. But that's the end of that story. The second one's very short, simple. Back in California, I had to pick up an order from a sushi place, and it was for a high schooler. So I dropped it. I basically took a bit of a while because of the fact that the place that we were picking up from didn't know that he had an order, wasn't ready. So I basically had to kind of wait a little bit extra. And then after I took it over, dropped it off. Kid was really great for this and took off. So that's it. That's the end of that story. So I'm gonna let you guys think about which one tipped me and which one didn't. And I'll explain as to, the whole thing about that and why. But Molly, since you worked quite some time in the front as a waitress.
Yep.
Okay. So tell me your experience with tipping while you were working as a waitress, and then kind of like give me your opinion about this culture and all that.
Well, the biggest thing that I learned is fancier doesn't always mean better.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is my first restaurant job was Denny's. I worked at Denny's, the graveyard shift, for 4 years. My second job.
Huh? No, sorry. I'm thinking about it because I was just like, didn't I ever go to your Denny's and you served me?
Maybe. Maybe. My second job was Benihana. This job was actually recommended to me by a customer at Denny's. I don't remember who he is or whatever, but he just like brought it up. And one day I just decided to give it a try. And I got the job and I went over there. My third restaurant job was First Watch. Another, kind of like diner sort of place, breakfast, lunch, and they close at 2:30. It's one of those early dining places. The worst one by far was Benihana. Even though that was the one that had the more expensive food. It was an absolute nightmare to work there. I hated every moment I worked there. I started as a host, and I was stuck as a host for about 2 years watching other people who were there for less time than me get promoted and getting all kinds of bull crap reasons on why I didn't get promoted. Once I did get promoted, it was just an absolute nightmare. Customers are rude. They act like they are the absolute king and queen of the planet. And mind you, I was working the lunch shift, so it was the cheaper version of the menu. So I'd get plenty of people who would want to tip or who complain about the drinks not being strong enough when it's a literal recipe that we follow. And my favorite, over there for groups of 8 or more, there's an automatic 18% tip placed on the check, whether it's split or not, whatever. And we would constantly get people griping about that 18% or trying to be sneaky and coming in as a group of 7 and then trying to sneak in that 8th one so they don't have to get the they don't have to pay the 18%. I've had people literally sit there argue with me with elevated voices about not wanting to pay the 18%, even though literally nothing went wrong in the whole table experience. It was horrible. Best job was First Watch. It's like a middle in terms of the expensive menu. It's a more expensive Denny's, basically, with better food, in my opinion. But that was my best restaurant job, and I'm really sad that wasn't the first one that I put all my 10 years into, because that would have been way better. But First Watch for sure was like my best restaurant job. But at that time, this was also just before the pandemic happened. I worked there about a good year and a half before the pandemic started. Then after that, it went a little downhill, but still not to the degree that I would compare it to Benihana. It just became a little more difficult, having to wear the masks and going outside when there's sun and having gloves on. Like it was difficult because of the pandemic, not because of the job itself. But then that's when, like, slowly but surely the tipping problem started happening, and people were like, leaving worse tips or trying to find the smallest thing to complain about so they don't have to tip or whatever. And then eventually I found the office job and I left. Denny's was just a nice middle. It wasn't terrible to work there. It wasn't great to work there. So that was my middle ground.
Okay. Wow. Damn. Because I always thought, because the thing is, like, I understand when it comes to waiters, like, their minimum wage is like not even livable. It's like barely scratching that,
not at all.
the surface.
I think the current minimum tip wage, if I remember correctly, is like 5 something.
Jesus
5
Christ.
Here in Florida. Like,
I don't know about anywhere else.
Anywhere else, most of them, from what I've seen, is like 3 something an hour.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So I don't know how they manage, but here, like, that's garbage. Also, something I also didn't mention, sometimes at Benihana, there were days where I would leave with nothing. And that's also because of their tip out system, which is heavily flawed. That was also the restaurant I was tipping out people the most. First Watch, I only tipped out a busser. Denny's, I didn't have to tip out anybody.
Oh, that's right. They have that. I forgot they have the tip outs, because
tip out system.
Like, because the thing is, when I used to work, and my experience working in food and beverage, like I said, I worked as a pastry cook because I went to school for it. I went back I graduated in 2012. I went to Le Cordon Bleu in Hollywood, California. Transferred from there to Florida, worked in an internship for free, and then eventually I went to go work on South Beach at this high-end restaurant that was like, the hotel is like exclusive only, like members only, but you can go to the restaurant. And I would hear people come, like waiters come in complaining about like they do all this extra service for the customer, like they do all these extra stuff, and then they'll find little things here and there to just nitpick.
Mm-hmm.
And the one time I remember this too, I had one waiter come in, and I know from experience how people would try to get a free dessert, and that always pissed me off, especially like when I first started. I remember this waiter comes in with, we used to have like these little donuts and little donuts, like little munchkin donuts from Dunkin' Donuts, right?
Right.
And you have this chocolate dipping sauce on the side, and what you do is you just dip and that's it. So the person ate the whole thing, but they had one left in there and they had a little hair in it, and they tried to point it in my direction, but the color of the hair was red. My hair is not red. My hair is blonde. So the guy is holding the thing and the hair, and it's red. And he's like, "Oh, this is your hair." And I go, "My hair's not red. At the last I checked, my hair was blonde, and I have a hat on because we had to wear baseball caps. Our hair slicked back. We couldn't have nothing in front of our, in
Right.
front at all." And
That
there was
reminds me of a funny story, but I'm gonna let you finish.
but there was times where like I'll hide my hair underneath the hat if I ironed it out. You see my hair ironed out, and I'm able to
Weird to
hide it
see
under
it ironed
hats
out.
perfectly fine. But this guy was just like, no, they want a free dessert. And I remember pointing this out, and they had to bring in the chef too. Cause I'm like, I'm not going to give them a free dessert if they ate the whole thing. And the waiter's just like, well, he's requesting another one. And I'm thinking, why are you guys acting like you're not getting paid that much? Cause I didn't know. I'd never, like I said, it never worked. I only seen people. I've always been taught to tip. And I always thought it was the polite thing to do.
Puh.
So I'm thinking like they were getting paid good. I'm like, there's a lot of waiters here that get paid really good. Why are you guys making it seem like you're not going to get paid? And this guy was just adamant, like, no, just give him another one because I really want to get this guy. He spent a lot of money on his whole bill, and they're supposed to tip me this and that. And I'm like, so the chef had to get involved, the head chef, and he's like, just give him another one. That's it. So I'm kind of like, okay. So we gave him another one, and the waiter comes back and he's there like, I really wish you never gave me another one. I said, why? And he goes, because he found another reason to complain. And I'm just like, what was the reason? He goes, oh, his drink was too watered down. And I'm just like, so he was just finding different reasons to complain. I go, did you at least get a tip? He goes, no, I didn't get anything. He just paid and left, and that was it. So I had to be educated by waiters and bussers and managers of how much waiters were getting paid. And I thought, fuck, I don't understand why they're getting paid so little when they're doing so much for people, doing all this different stuff for us, making our experience out and about like memorable, doing these different birthdays, going above and beyond for all these different people, only to be treated like shit, and then having the tipping culture getting way out of hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just like, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. But let me hear your story, and then we're gonna go down to Phil next.
Wait. It'll be really quick. But it's really funny that you had like a "this isn't my hair" story, because almost the exact same thing happened at Benihana. I had a group of customers, and I served them, did the thing, all that, blah blah blah. And at the end, one of them goes to me and says, "Oh, by the way, just so you know, we found a hair in our food." And I say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me see it." And they say, "Look, it's right here. It's a blonde hair." And I kind of stopped for a second, like, ma'am, nobody on staff is blonde. Literally nobody in our staff. I didn't even have the purple hair yet. It's bleached underneath, so they could have had me there, but I didn't have the purple hair. My hair was still natural, and it's brown.
Yeah.
And I said to her, literally nobody here on staff has blonde hair. Not our managers, not any of our chefs. Most of our chefs are bald. So that already eliminates that. And I said to her, like, nobody on our staff is blonde. Yeah. And I don't remember how it ended, but I don't think I like took anything off of their check, because at this point I was already very like a seasoned veteran in Benihana, and I was just like, I'm not gonna like go above and beyond for you guys, and I know you're not going to tip me. Like, I was already tired of it. I literally just said, like, nobody on our staff is blonde. You're not getting anything out of me.
Oh God, the hair trick is like,
Yeah.
try to come up with something original at least if you want to like get out of a bill.
No, or at least use hair that could be similar to somebody on staffs. Like there was like maybe I think one other person in that group. Somebody there was the blonde. I remember that. I was like, somebody there is blonde, and it's just like, you're not slick.
Yeah,
you are not slick at all. Maybe if you'd used literally probably any other color, not red, but just a black hair, and yeah, maybe you would have had me. But if you're really going to try to come up with a reason to not tip me, be creative. Be creative or be smart. Like, no. I'm not having that. That was my story. It just was really funny that something similar happened to you. In this case, it was a red hair.
That was the thing, is that one was more of like, I remember that day being windy, and the thing is, the restaurant that I worked at, it had an outside patio. So obviously someone's hair is gonna fly in there, and it's just like, oh, we found this hair inside it, and like, but they ate everything else. Like, and I was new too into restaurant business. Like, I was brand spanking new, straight out of culinary school, out of my internship, still learning the ropes and everything. And I'm just like really confused, because if like you've never worked in a restaurant, it's like you gotta have tough skin in order to make it through the kitchen. Like, especially in the back of the house, and as waiters too, because I used to get into fights with all the waiters every single time. And it was like a losing battle, but it was always like me being a smart ass every single time.
I can imagine. Yeah. I can imagine. I'm glad we never worked together, because I feel like we would have killed each other.
Oh, I probably would have made you cry, because I cursed out so many waiters, and I was like the mini version, like the female version of Gordon Ramsay. So it was just like, I've cursed out so many waiters. They none of them really cried, but like at the end, it's just like, we'll go to the bar, drink. It's like, yeah, yo, I'm sorry. You know how it's tense and all that. Phil.
Yo.
All right. So your experience with tipping.
Let's see. As I said before, I worked at a supermarket. I'm not gonna say which brand. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I will tell you straight up from the get-go, it sucked. Sucked worse than a soda straw. I rarely got tipped, but when I do get tipped, 9 times out of 10, it's like, okay. So, one instance I remember vividly was I helped us I think it was a mother who like with 3 carts worth of food. 3 carts full in basket, on the seat, on the little rack under it. And I'm like, is she having an event, or is she stockpiling for the winter, or she has a fallout shelter? Either one of the 3. So I helped her out, literally playing the world's most difficult game of Tetris, because bear in mind, this person does not drive like a truck or anything like that. She drives a she just drives a freaking sedan. Not all that stuff's gonna fit in. To the point where we have to stuff things in the back seat. And I'm like, oh God, here we go. I finish all that for about 25 minutes worth of Tetrising. And she's like, oh, thank you so much. Here you go for your troubles. Like, oh, thank you. I look at it. $2.
Wow.
I'm like, why, thank you. I can make a down payment on a bottle of Coke. Why, thank you very much. And as soon as she pulled out, I was like, fuck you.
Sorry, that was me. Because I've been tipped like $2 before on crazy huge bills. So I feel that. I completely feel that.
You guys got $2?
$2 for like the most impressive level of packing, organizing, rearranging. Like I'm OCD, like straight up. I'm OCD when I was organizing my stuff. Like, you should see how I arrange my pop figures. It's straight up bad. But I'm like, all of that perfection for $2? $2?
Yeah.
The only drawback of this job is that on my very last day, when I was ready to burn that apron, I met the Rock's mom. So
Oh,
Oh,
that's
nice.
cool though.
she was
That
super
is
nice. I
cool.
told her that I wanted to get into wrestling. Then she showed me baby pictures of like the whole Anawai family, and I'm like, am I allowed to see this? Like,
That's so cool.
It
she was a sweet,
is.
because she used to live in the neighborhood where I worked. Then she, I guess she moved somewhere else because I guess her loving son bought her a house.
Oh, that's
Aw.
cute though. I think
Yeah,
like the
but
only experience. Well, I've had. Go on. Sorry.
yeah, but yeah, like I'm sorry. I know we're talking about tipping culture, but I like, oh my god, it was like, it's like what you said. Like you need to develop patience, thick skin, or something like that. It's
Mhm.
because of this job. I say to myself every day, Lord, give me patience, because if you give me strength, I'm going to jail. Like, especially during
Oh,
holidays. Ironically, when
Oh
it's like
my
holiday
god.
time,
mm,
the tips get better,
Barely.
but the
mm,
but the customers get
mm.
worse.
They
There was
barely get better, dude. Honestly,
yeah,
to
They
me, they barely
barely.
get better, and it's not worth the extra stress. Usually.
No, especially in the kitchen during Art Basel.
Really? Art Basel?
oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
A lot of people go to
Mm.
a lot of people go to eat during Art Basel because it's like right there.
Well, it
So
Yeah.
depends where you work. But in my case, in my jobs, like the worst day of the year, worst is Mother's Day.
oh, for you it's Mother's Day. For me, for us, it's Thanksgiving.
No, for all the restaurants that I worked at, all of them, it was always insane during Mother's Day, because that's what people
Yeah.
mostly do for their mother. They take them out to eat somewhere, and then it's just an absolute shit show. No matter where you go, there was like one restaurant when I didn't work restaurants anymore. I went, ironically, with my dad because I think my mom was out, but I went with him to eat somewhere for Mother's Day. It was only one restaurant that was not crowded, and it's like near my house. It's like one of those kind of hole in the wall places, so yeah, it's not going to get like that type of rush like a mainstream type of restaurant would be. But
Yeah.
any kind of mainstream restaurant that people know about, don't even bother. I tell
Mm.
my parents, for even for Father's Day can also get like pretty insane. I tell them both, I will take you out for Mother's Day and Father's Day on any other weekend that is not Mother's Day or Father's Day. We can go the weekend before or we can go the weekend after. We're not going anywhere with food the actual weekend of Mother's Day or Father's
Yeah.
Day. It's not happening.
So
Also
no
Valentine's
movies.
Day too.
So no,
Valentine's Day can suck too, depending on what day it falls on.
I personally don't like Valentine's Day, but that's just
Same.
another story for another day.
Yeah. I mean, I get you. I get you.
Yeah, but yeah, like holidays, they do give you a little bit of tipping. But this whole topic that Blondie brought up, like, made me think, like, I didn't know that tipping culture was like a bad thing. Honestly, I always thought, like, hey, if someone helps you out in a tight spot and they're working and they're doing it out of their way, even though it's probably gonna burn some of their shifts where they have to do some other stuff. I mean, like, do a nice
Well, the reason
gesture.
for the tipping culture, why it became a thing called a tipping culture is because of the fact that people want to stop tipping. And they're
Yeah.
saying that, oh, and like, I don't understand why restaurants don't bring up the pay rate. The problem with that is that they bring up the pay rate as somebody that goes to restaurants, you're going to be paying more for food. So
Right.
let's say you're paying like for $10, like a burger or something. If they brought up the pay rate in order to pay their waiters and staff of like an affordable rate, like that $10 burger is going to end up being like 25-30 bucks. So it's just more of like, that's the reason why people are getting like this point of like, I don't tip because like you guys should be getting better jobs. And it's just like, well, there's people out there that wants to be a waiter or a server. And I'm just kind of like, or that's just the job they can get at the moment because either they're in school or that's probably one of their part-time jobs, and they probably have another job on the side. And it's
Mhm.
just like people just want to abolish certain things. And I mentioned to you when we were talking about this, when we were doing our Mario review before we started, that in some cultures it is considered rude to tip, like in Japan and China and
Yeah.
Korea, South and North. It's considered rude to tip because they already have that minimum wage where you can, you don't
Yeah,
have to tip.
they already pay them a livable wage, so to
Exactly.
tip is basically us saying, like, "You don't pay them enough." Which
Exactly. So it's, here in the
oh,
States, it's like, yes, there are some restaurants. The thing is that why I'm like mentioning why I used to work in the back of the house as a cook. When I went to go work before I left, this is my last job. I worked as a financial like advisor for five different restaurants in South Florida. So basically managing of the expenses of where the food they buy from. They have they have like different they have different like sections of not depart dispute oh god, I can't fucking pronounce the word, but say the word correctly right now because I got tongue tied. But disputers. Fuck, I can't even say
distributors?
it. Thank you.
Distributors? No problem.
Disputers, like kind of like people that dispute, like not dispute, but like they send stuff,
Distribute?
like the thank you, distributors. There we go. I got it. Distributors. There's different ones that people go to, and it does cost a lot of money to go and get all this stuff because you have to go through the fridge, like the walk-in freezer, make sure you have everything. And sometimes some places don't have it. Right now, a lot of stuff is going on back orders. So, for instance, like when I was grocery shopping, somebody asked for peaches. Apparently, you cannot find peaches right now in the store because of the fact of like there's issues with the agricultural section, like within the the industry, the agricultural industry. There's issues. A lot of times they get their peaches from South America, and their weather right now is out of control. I just found out today, about 6 days ago, they announced that there's going to be a rice shortage, and there's issues with the weather in Asia and Pakistan right now. That's where we get our rice from, some places.
Ooh.
So there's issues, and the reason why when it comes to prices going up with the eggs and all that, how it was going up, like a carton of eggs was almost like $10, and I was like a
Yeah.
dozen.
There was some
It's
kind of sickness
because
going on with the chickens, isn't that what it was?
yeah, there was sick there. Yeah, that's the reason why. And then now with like strawberries in California, the U.S. get their strawberries from California. The weather in California has been
Mm.
shit. So a lot of the strawberries that they have has either been like the crops have been frozen or it's just been overwatered. So a lot of it becomes rotten. So that's why prices for fruits are so expensive right now. So if people wanted to bring up the minimum wage for waiters and servers and busters and dishwashers, it's gonna cost you even more to dine out. And it's gonna get to the point that if you want to pay more to dine out, less people are gonna go dining out.
Yeah.
So with the tipping culture, people are getting out of hand because when I mentioned that in 2020, when the start of the pandemic, everything shut down for a short period of time. And I've talked about this with my best friend that I go, when I was in school, I didn't have DoorDash or Uber Eats or Grubhub when I was in school. Whatever I wanted outside, I had to ask my parents in advance, like, hey, can you pick me up some chicken McNuggets from McDonald's and drop it off at the school? Nowadays, kids can just order off their phones and be like, hey, I'm going to order McDonald's and have my driver meet me off into the side. So I feel like the tipping culture started to get out of hand because we live now in a digital age. So people will find reasons to complain and they will post it up on social media. Is when drivers from DoorDash started acting out of like, oh, I did this for you and you didn't tip me. And like, but the thing is that DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub all promise you like you're going to get tipped no matter what. And that's not true because
It's
I
not.
found out that there's a loophole that people do. They go and change, they have the percentages. They can put other and put zero down and you don't get a tip at all. So people get pissed and people will go out of their way and be knocking on your front door like, hey, I went, 20 miles to get you sushi and you couldn't be nice enough to give me a tip. And it's just like, well, I mean, you did your job. You got a percentage up from it. You got like $6 out of it, I feel like that's fair or something. And that's kind of where like that whole tipping culture started, popping up, where people are just like, you guys are getting really out of hand. You're getting unhinged right now of asking for money for doing your job. Me as a DoorDasher who's been doing it for almost 2 years, going to be 2 years in August, that at first I would get pissed when I didn't get tips, but now I don't even set myself up for that anymore. It's just like, if I get a tip, I get a tip. If I don't, I don't. I just, I'm still going to get paid for doing what I'm doing. But the tipping is just more of like, kind of like in my sense, it's like an extra, like kind of like, thanks for doing this for me. Like, thank you. But at the end of the day, it's just like, there's just people that just set themselves up to expect every order they're going to get a tip. And like, for instance, like my brother, this is pre-pandemic. My brother took his girlfriend, I don't know if it's his previous one or if it's his now fiance, to a Chinese restaurant that's right around my house. And it's one of those hole in the walls. When you mentioned hole in the walls, I was just like, I remember that one right away. And he didn't have a good experience at all. So my brother is the type of person that if he doesn't have a good experience, he's not going to tip. And that's kind of like my mentality at this point too. Like, is this whole culture going to stop me from tipping? No, it's like, it's not, because I know how bad their pay is, and I want to help them as much as I can. But anyway, so my brother went to this restaurant. He had a bad experience. So he left. He paid and left. He forgot his keys in the restaurant. So he had to go right back in, and the lady has his keys in hand and is pointing down at the bill.
Oh.
And my brother, in order to get his keys back, he had to give her a tip.
Technically, he doesn't have to. She can't hold his keys hostage, but
exactly. That's what I even asked him. I said, because this is a while back. I asked him, "Did you give her a tip?" And he's like, "Yeah, I had to, in order to get my keys back." And I go, "She can't do that to you, because that's just right there, her bribing you. Like, hey, if you want your keys back, you got to give me money in order to get your keys back."
That's illegal as hell. That's really illegal.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like the reason why, Phil, I mentioned about tipping culture, is that people nowadays, if you were to go on Twitter or TikTok or even Instagram, you see drivers and you see people posting up on their Ring cameras of their driver coming back and saying, "Hey, I drove like this many miles to get your order and you couldn't even tip me." It's like, it's my choice. But I don't know what happened, what that transpired, if you did a good job, if my food came in cold or hot, or, you touched it or something. And
right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right.
But for me, it's like, going back, I always tip. Yeah, that's the thing. This whole culture, like, it has gotten out of control, especially with DoorDash, with Grubhub, with Uber Eats. It has gotten out of control, because when people started losing their jobs, they started putting this whole mentality, this connecting the dots of like, you know what, if I work for this, I can get money out of it. And it's like, I can understand that you can get money working as a driver and all that, but when you have your mind set to, I'm going to get tipped every single time, and you don't, you're setting yourself up.
Oh yeah, you're setting yourself up for complete disappointment.
Yeah. So those two stories I told you, which one of them did I get tipped on? If you guys, which one do you think I got tipped on, the first story or the second story?
I'm gonna guess the second story.
For what, tipping or not tipping?
For tipping. But you got tipped at the second story.
Phil?
Say again?
So which one, the two stories I shared in the beginning, which one do you think I got tipped on, the first story or the second story?
I'd say the high schooler.
Yeah, it's the second story.
Yeah, you are correct. The high schooler, so his order, if I remember correctly, was $5.75, right? He tipped me $20.
Damn.
And that's a high schooler. And I have experience where high schoolers, they don't tip because they're kids. So a lot of times kids don't really tip. And I don't like going to the high schools at all, because it's a pain in the ass. You have to constantly look for where they're at. You're going around, and then you're feeling like you're intruding, and it's just uncomfortable. Now the ladies' order was $3.75.
Jesus Christ.
and it was like I said, it was 2 grocery carts full of stuff. And this lady couldn't even like be bothered. I've had, because the thing is, like, I mentioned this in many of my things, that I live in a very rural area where everything is like spread apart. So a lot of my orders are consistent of grocery orders. So I go out to like farmlands and far out there. And these people do tip, and I don't expect it. I get to the point where I drop it off. I'm like, look, if I get tipped, I get tipped. If I don't, I don't. As long as I get paid for doing this, I'm fine with it. I'm not going to be one of those dashers of going on my phone and start ranting like, oh, I did this order and they couldn't even bother to be tipped. I'm just like, why am I going to waste my time and energy on complaining? I understand that nowadays it's just, that's how people are. What was it? My first job out of high school in fast food, I got in trouble once for accepting a tip.
Oh yeah, fast food. That's something funny about fast food nowadays. Obviously back then there was no tipping because fast food workers get a normal wage.
Yeah.
But now, I don't know if you've noticed or either of you have noticed, but they do give you an option to tip now on fast food orders too. That for me is a little out of hand because everybody in that restaurant will be getting a livable wage. Now, the once in a while somebody tipping because you did something nice for them and all that, that's one thing. Yeah. But this is like you pay by card and the machine itself says, would you like to leave a tip? And it's just like, do these guys also not get paid? I mean, granted, they probably don't, but it's just the fact that that the fast food workers should be getting paid like a normal wage.
Yeah, they should.
That's why there's a tipped wage and the normal wage.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I think that is also going a little out of hand because now it's creating a bad taste in people's mouths regarding tipping in general. So then the people who actually do work for tips are suffering for that too.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, the one thing I did learn as a kid is like, you don't mess with your waiter, the cook, your hairstylist, because
absolutely not. You don't mess with people that you have to allow into you. You know what I mean? Like you said, people who
you don't mess with someone that handles your food.
Yeah,
never. Not someone who handles your food, and just like you said, not your hairstylist, because you piss them off good enough, they'll just plop, lob something right off. You also don't piss off your tattoo artist.
Yeah, or your waxer, Molly.
I'm planning to get a tattoo soon, so.
Or your waxer, yeah.
Because I know who your waxer is. That's the funny thing.
Oh no, I would never piss her. I love her way too much.
I know, I'm joking with you.
I love her way too much. You don't piss people off that you have to be that vulnerable with. You know, like that you are basically at their mercy.
And you don't betray your barber.
Yeah,
that's what someone just says. My barber gets 20 on top of his 30 he charges me. I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Hell, I tip. You know who my hairstylist is? She's my cousin, who I'm seeing this Wednesday, luckily.
Oh, nice.
And I tip her. She gives me a family discount, which still comes out pretty expensive, but it's also because she's been at this for like a long ass time, and she uses high quality products, and she's in a very, very kind of rich part of the area. So
fancy.
Oh yeah, quite fancy. So like I know what I'm getting into. But
you can't see me, but I'm raising the pinky.
The quality shows. Like I still have color in my hair, and the last time I saw her, I think it was December, just before New Year's. So this
wow.
Yeah, this is nearly like 6 months of growth. But I tip her because yes, she's my cousin, but she's still doing me a service.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So you don't piss off people who are at your mercy, and even my tattoo artist, old friend of mine, I would never. Even if he wasn't my friend, I would never try to piss him off, ever.
My hairstylist got weird with me 3 times.
I'm without one for a long time. Okay, well, if your hairstylist gets weird with you, that's a that's a story.
Yeah,
that is a whole different story.
Weird? Is he like pulling? Is he pulling like a Joe Biden?
Thing is that
you get a new stylist ASAP.
Oh yeah, no, I don't have, since like I was in California, I had a nail tech and I love this guy. He was awesome, like
nice.
But since I've been here, I have not been able to find a hairstylist or what. My waxer's in Florida. When I would go, and I should have when I was there for her wedding. Like she waxes at her house. So ironically, the thing that you've been laying down, I slept on that thing for about a week.
You slept
I
on it?
slept
You
on that damn
poor
thing.
That's not a sleeping bed.
It was comfy, and
You
I think
say
like by the
that, but it's actually extremely comfortable.
it is. It's comfy.
It's comfortable, but not to sleep in. Just to
It's
get myself
comfy.
waxed, and then that's it.
No,
Fucking
but
Adam.
Oh, I
got
took a power nap on that thing one time when I was at a hotel for a con. I was like, oh, I thought it was like a lounge room. I didn't know it was like a spa room. I was like,
Oh my
and then a
god.
person walked in. I was like, oh, are you here for the 4:30 appointment? For what? I
What are you gonna do?
was
Oh, Brazilian,
No.
isn't that you?
like,
No, 'cause-
no, you ain't getting anywhere near me unless you buy me dinner first. I'm cheap.
Listen, it's not that bad.
But no,
Gotta get
serious.
used to
But
it.
like when I had to learn all about, like when I was learning about like the wage that waiters were getting, and like how that you mentioned that they had to do like the payout for like the person that was working with you, because the thing is that you can get a
Oh,
big amount of tips, but the person that takes the food, which is the busser that takes the food, sometimes the waiter can't do it, so they'll have the busser go do it. Then the person that comes to clean up, which is still the busser, the people that walk, it's just like you have to pay all these people, especially people at bars. Like, yeah, they get tipped really good, and that's what they always
So,
talk about. They get
this
paid
is
really
that
good.
is that is one of the things about the Benihana job that would piss me off. Obviously, I'm not going to specify which Benihana, but they all essentially do the same thing. The
Sends
tip
me
out
in a
system,
message.
the tip out system is it's as follows: a certain percent goes to the hibachi chef, who's the one that does the little flippy tricks, all that cute blah, blah. He gets it no matter what because there's always going to be a chef at the table. But we also have to tip out. We also have to tip out the busser because they bus our tables. Those are the two like cemented tips that will always happen no matter what. Those tip outs will always happen. But then if the customer orders a cocktail, I have to tip out the bartender. If they order an appetizer or sushi, I have to tip out the sushi bar as well. So I'm essentially tipping out like everybody except for the managers and the hosts. And I've had it happens plenty of times where yes, I make all this tip, but then at the end of the day, I have to do the tip out, and then I leave with usually like less than half. I had days there, Lena, not even joking, where I leave with nothing.
Yeah, no, I mean you said that, you
I've come
mentioned
up
that,
negative.
and I like that's why I was not surprised because like I've
It's
heard
like
people.
the ending of a bad cartoon where you get a whole bunch of money. You're like, whoops, thank you, thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you, thank you,
Yep.
thank you. Oh, and I get $1
Because
little
you
dollar
know
that
what
a random
happens?
little person.
You know what happens a lot is I can get tipped on one table, like a decent tip, whatever, and it'll cover all the tip outs and blah blah blah. And then the next table I get, they'll decide to like tip me garbage or tip me nothing. So then that good tip that I got from the first table, that basically gets pushed into that one to make up for it. And then it just piles up and piles up and piles up. And the next thing I know, I'm leaving with nothing. Or the other thing that happens, which is my favorite thing that would happen, they will give the tip to the chef. They will give the tip to the chef and then not tip the server because I tipped the chef. So they assume
That everyone's gonna get that tip.
share that tip with us. They don't. They do not.
Yeah.
So then not only are they getting that side tip, but then I have to tip out that table at the end of the day. So they're getting twice. I have so much to say about that old job, but I really don't want to get
like
into
I had experience with a tip was when I was working at that high-end restaurant in South Beach. I don't want to mention it because I actually do like this place. They got good food. And I have stories as working as the stuff that I hear is just funny as hell. But a lot of celebrities go to this hotel. And I met a lot of different celebrities. Like ironically, before I get to my actual story, I met David Beckham.
Really?
Yeah, he was being escorted through the kitchen to go to the back to go to his car. And I thought it was a new security guard. And I thought, damn, he's fine as fuck. Who's this guy? And it's just like, Alina, that's David Beckham. I go, the soccer player's working here now? I was like, no, stupid. He's being escorted. So
He's like, no,
I met
stupid.
David Beckham. Before Prince Harry got married, he stayed there at the hotel. We had like Rihanna stay there for a good, like, I think like 2 weeks. And I learned so much about her. I was just like, this is why she's queen of the Bahamas. Because her hotel room, she had to maintain it at a temperature of 75, 76 with like 10 humidifiers on all day, every day. She had to have a
What?
fruit plate in that room a fresh one every single day with water bottles, brand spanking new ones. If she opened it and took a sip, she had to get rid of that and get a new one.
That is so bougie.
It was, but she's not that tall either, because she would wear high heels on the beach and everything. And I remember her walking in, passing the kitchen, because you had no choice. If you had to go to the pool, you had to walk in front of the kitchen and you can look into the kitchen. You won't see my department because my department was all the way towards the side behind the double doors. You would never see me. But Lawrence Fishburne was there. What's it called? James Franco's brother stayed there.
Wait,
So
Lawrence Fishburne?
yes.
That's so cool.
As in Morpheus, freaking
Yeah,
Beyonder and
Morpheus.
Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur?
Yes.
Nice.
That is
so he was there, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's Morpheus!" My mind before everything else was, "Oh my god, it's the guy from Hannibal, the TV show." I forgot his name. Forgot his character. Oh, Crawford or something like that. And everyone else, "Oh, it's Morpheus." I go, "It's Crawford. What the hell are you talking about?"
Somebody
But
has
I
never
met a
seen
lot
The
of different
Matrix.
people. But the one person, the first time I ever experienced tipping was from Freddie Ocean. He had stayed at the hotel for about a month and a half. I don't know why. He just stayed there for a month and a half. And when he finally decided to check out, he tipped, I believe, like 15,000. And I'm thinking like, oh, that's just for the whoever it was. No, it was for everybody, staff, hotel staff, everybody in the restaurant, because he was ordering constantly. And he tipped everyone. That was my first time. So when I got my tip, I was just kind of like, what do I do with this? And it's like, oh, it's for you. And they're like, so you're not going to take it away from me? It's like, no, because I would hear waiters saying that, yeah, I would have to tip out the busters, this and that. And Molly said, I would leave with nothing sometimes. And going back, when you guys mentioned you got $2, so I can beat that.
Wait, whoa, hold on. I'm literally not processing this. Back this up. What did you do with $15,000?
No, not me. It was 15, but he divided that amongst everybody that worked in the hotel.
Oh.
No, if I had 15, you're not seeing my ass here right now.
Right?
I would have saved that, invested
I was
in a bunch of
about to
different stuff.
say, you owe me $20, right?
You owe me like 20, like $2,000. What the hell are you talking about? I owe you $2,000.
Like, what you smoking? Can I have some?
But I had an order I had to pick up, and it was McDonald's. It was McDonald's that I get like a really shitty tip on this one. Dropped it off, and I remember I made so many jokes with my friend Michelle for like 2 months. DoorDash has it where you see how much the order is. So sometimes it was like $2.50, right? So I was like, okay, $2.50. And I go, I highly doubt I get a tip out of this. When you complete it, they'll break it down, showing you where it's all at, why it's that much and everything. So I'm thinking, okay, why is it like $2.55? Sorry. Why is it $2.55? That doesn't make any sense. Like, was it like $1 something and they just matched it up and brought it up to $2.55 or something? No. The guy gave me a tip of a nickel.
Oh my God.
I sat there and I was like thrown back. Like if I was in the 1940s, 1950s, like, oh, gee, Williker, I got a nickel, sir. I'm so I called Michelle up and I was going back and forth with her. I go, bro, you wouldn't believe how much I got. And she goes, what? A fucking nickel. She goes, are you serious? I go, I am dead serious. A nickel, a whole nickel. I was so happy. I named it Philip.
A whole nickel.
Whole nickel. It was
Oh
fun.
my God.
That's like 5 hay pennies.
That's the biggest insult you can give to a server. Like, if your freaking bill is like, XYZ amount and this much cents, and you just leave just enough to cover the bill, and then you leave the leftover cents for the freaking server, that to me is the biggest insult. The absolute biggest insult.
Wait, here's I can think of something worse. The nickel is a wooden nickel.
Bruh.
At that point,
you know what's funny
at that
about
point,
that?
I'm fighting the manager.
You know what's funny about that? one time. I don't know if I still have it. It's probably here somewhere.
Please
But
tell me you
I
didn't.
got
Please tell me you don't
paid.
have a wooden nickel.
No, I don't have a wooden nickel. But
Oh,
somebody paid their bill in cash and used like exact change. And one of those damn coins was like a Canadian quarter.
Nice.
Like I've had that happen so many times where people will put in random currency from other countries, and I'm just like, are you really like this? Like, why are you
like
doing
you just get like change. You just see like a random yen.
yeah, but if I got a yen,
I
I'd
got
be
pesos. Like
I would be slightly less mad because yen look awesome. But
they do.
I've gotten like I think I've gotten even like currency from like Cuba or whatever. Like I know it was from like a Latino country. I forgot which one, but like I've gotten their currency also, not just Canadian coins. I'm just like,
Was it Pastava?
I don't even, dude. I couldn't remember if I wanted to, but I know I've gotten like other forms of currency that is not American.
I can actually agree with that because the thing is that whenever you know those change machines when you pay in cash and you get the little change fall in.
Mm-hmm.
So I got, which was so weird. I got a Canadian dollar, like and I was like looking at it and I go, I'm like, damn, George Washington looks good. So I'm like, wait a minute, that's Queen Elizabeth. Since when is Queen Elizabeth on the penny? Like, no, that's a pound. I'm like, oh, okay, she looked good.
Well, depending on the year that you got that, you might have technically gotten more than an American dollar. So
probably no. I
Yeah. If it's vintage, you can resell it for like an actual collector's value.
There you go.
True. I gotta look at it and see what year it is because I have that in my car. I have a peso from Mexico that I found on the street. Like, oh, should I found a dime? It's a peso. You're going in the car.
Like fuck it.
But God no, it's just. Is this gonna? Let me ask you this: is this gonna stop you from tipping people?
Is what gonna stop?
Whenever you go out, you know how you were mentioning you have like your tattoo artist, your hairstylist, you have all these people, and I know you said you're not gonna stop you, but like when you go out to restaurants, is this gonna stop you from tipping people? Like,
oh no.
Hell no.
I will always tip restaurant workers. I would never be able to not tip. I would have to have like the absolute worst experience ever. And even then I'll probably still only leave like 10% or something, but I would never leave 0.
Yeah.
The only time I did not tip somebody is like what I like when there's days where like I really don't want to go out. I really don't want to leave the comfort of my home. I order DoorDash, right? And I always tip. Because they're spending time and gas to deliver my food because I'm a lazy motherfucker.
Exactly. We're paying to be
But
lazy.
The only time that I did not tip is when they delivered my order and half of it was gone.
No.
As in, I had my Baconator, I had my nuggets, no large fry, no Coke Cherry Vanilla.
Oh.
What?
And I'm like, I'm about to get nerd some up in this bitch, okay? Like, okay. Like, I'm about to go my sugar up in this bitch, okay?
Oh.
Wow.
I've had that happen to me once, and I had to call DoorDash tech support. This is before I started working. I ordered I think I ordered chicken because I was craving chicken, like chicken wings and all that. And they had this thing where we're supposed to do it. We're supposed to take a picture, send it to the client, and then leave, right? My thing, I do the extra steps. If they don't tell me, that's where I become a smartass. If you don't tell me and I see you have a Ring camera, I'm like, you better get your food before someone else comes out here and gets it because I'm not responsible with it anymore. So this is before I was living in an apartment complex, and a lot of times people don't knock. I do it because, like I said, I don't want your food to get stolen. I go out there, I knock, I'm like, hey, your food's here. You better come and get it. Unless you tell me not to knock, then I'm like, your food's on its own. Like, I'm not dealing with this right now.
Right.
So I ordered something. They took a picture, sent it over to me. And when I went to go open, my food was gone. So I called tech support, and they first goes, "Are you sure your food never arrived?" And I go, "Because we see on this end that you have your picture here." And I go, "My dude, I can take a picture and show you, or call you on video chat and show you that I do not have my food. Somebody, your driver, took my food." And this is where like I understand that people kind of get now. This is where the people like where people get really pissed, and it's why tipping culture is kind of getting out of hand. Is there are people out there that would report you saying that you never delivered your food because of many different reasons. Now, there are people that have come out saying that, yeah, I delivered the food, and then they claim that they never got it, and I physically handed it to this person, right?
Right.
And there's people that are like that. There are people that order something and they want their money back, but yet keep the food at the same time. Now, there's other people that will put the food down, take a picture, and pick it up and walk away before they even let you know or send it to you saying, hey, I dropped off your food. The person that did this took a picture, picked it up again, and left. And then they're like, oh, well, you know, I dropped it off. It's not my fault that you didn't get it. And it's just like, no. You took my food. You took a picture claiming you dropped it off so you can keep your job, and my food's not here. Now, I know for a fact that DoorDash doesn't really call the driver up to say, hey, did you drop off the food? You know, they're calling, they never got it. And that's kind of where a lot of people get, you know, citations. I got a citation once because, and I don't have control over trains. I wish I did. I wish I was Magneto to lift up a goddamn train and move it out of the way when
you
it
got
stops on the
stuck at
tracks.
a railroad crossing.
Yes.
Oh.
But the messed up thing was that they were doing a change of tracks. So it has to stop, do the change of tracks. So I got stuck there for about an hour. So I had to go around and get to the person. The guy basically said that, oh, my food was cold. I said, no, it was in a heating bag. I was in contact with you the entire time. I'm like, sir, I'm sorry, but I'm stuck at a train tracks. I called, told them what happened, and they still gave me a citation. They're like, well, in order to take the citation off, you have to complete 100 orders. And I go, how is that fair? Like, how is that fair that I have to complete 100 orders to get that citation off? Because now it's kind of messing with me where I can't really get that many orders coming in. So I'm not sorry to say this, but sometimes it depends on what location you're at. The tech support doesn't really help. And on top of that, I also feel like DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, they take your tips too.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I
Percentage
I
goes to
feel
them
like they
too.
I know they do. They fucking take my money all the time. Every time I'm working, I'll notice one amount of money, and then it's like it goes down. I go, where the fuck was it? Where did it go? And that's where like the tipping culture people get pissed. And I've had people tell me like, oh, did you get my tip? And I go, what tip? And they'll physically give me a tip. It's like, hey, look, you know, I know you're working really hard. And exactly what Phil said. It's just like, yeah, I know that it's like the miles, the gas, the maintenance on the car. It takes a lot out of it. Here's some money for your trouble. And I'm like, oh shit, thanks. I don't know what to do with these tips. I look at them like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I don't know what to do with my hands moment for me. But is it going to stop me? No, it's not. Because I understand the pain, and it's a pain in the ass when like there's a lot of people that do like, you know, service jobs, or like that's hair, face, eyebrows, you know, tattoos, food and beverage. I understand it's a pain in the ass, and a lot of people now, especially now with the economy that we have today, it's impossible to have a minimum wage or a living wage that you can live comfortably without having to have like roommates or multiple jobs, you know. Let me see. Hold on. Got one right here. Right there. I got really mad when an order got messed up because those apps charge an arm and a leg and service fee. Yeah. And then they want you to have a membership in order to get free delivery and all that good stuff. But no, that's kind of messed up, Phil, that they took your fries and your drink. Because I think that same thing happened to me
and
once.
DoorDash orders ain't cheap.
They're not.
Mm-mm. They're
They're
not.
not.
So my meal normally, if I were to go to the drive-thru, probably like about $20, $18, probably like that. No, because it's DoorDash and it's taxes and including the tip, it's $32.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, so
And
at
you
that
telling me
point, you
I
would
paid
expect the order
$32
to be accurate.
It was like so you telling me I spent $32 for half my order to be accurate? Because this I messaged the DoorDash tracker, like the person who dropped my DoorDash.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, my fry and my drink, it's not here. I was like, oh, and then the reply was like, oh wait, that was yours?
What?
I'm like,
Dude, no.
I'm like,
Absolutely
I
not.
was like, "In nomine Patris et Spiritus Sancti."
Oh
I'm about
God.
to smack a bitch. Like,
Oh God, no. Because
as I said
also,
before, give me patience. Because
also
you give me
like
strength. I'm
when
like,
it also sometimes when it comes to orders, like people want to point the blame in the driver's direction. Like for instance, like your thing, if it came with it, came with it, which you paid for it. But there's times where restaurants don't really pay attention to what they're doing and they will forget.
That can happen.
And I've had one customer, which I had to repeat myself 3 times to this woman. I had an order from McDonald's, took it to her house, and she goes, "Where are my drinks?" I go, "In the bag, ma'am." She was like, "But where are my drinks?" And I go, "Ma'am, they're in the
in the
bag."
bag.
Can you not hear?
And she's like, "Are you sure they're in the bag?" I go, "Well, they weren't in my hands when I walked in. Now, were they? They were in the bag."
It's like, do you
And
understand the words that are
I,
coming out of my
it's
mouth?
like, it's just more of like, I go, I know for a fact, because I can tell when certain people are not going to, like, not even bother tipping. I can tell right off the bat, just like, "You're not going to tip me, are you? Because you think I stole your soda." And I always have a backup for my backup, because whenever I have like an issue with a customer, because here's the thing, Phil, if you didn't know this, and Molly too,
Yeah.
if you know how you can call DoorDash and complain about your driver, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so you can also file complaints against a restaurant or wherever you bought something, you can file a complaint against that establishment as well. And they can also get kind of like, like written up in a sense of like, well, you didn't put this person's stuff in there, or if they've had issues with you in the past. Like I had one issue with a pizza place that they canceled this person's order before I can even get there to even get in contact with the customer, because that's usually what you're supposed to do. If there's a missing item, they're supposed to wait for you to get there or call the customer themselves saying, "Hey, we don't have mushrooms. Is there another topping you want?" And they would have no problem. So I had got there. The cert guy was like, "Oh yeah, I canceled that order." And I looked him dead straight in the eye and I go, "Why did you cancel that order?" He goes, "Well, I didn't have any mushrooms." I'm like, "You could have waited for me and I could have called the customer up and asked them and have them make the decision whether or not they want to cancel the order. Because then it's going to look bad on me if I come in with a half of an order and they thought that I stole their pizza. You know, you can't just make the decision for the customer. You have to let the customer decide for them.
Exactly.
You know, but no, but yeah, no, gonna go back. Yeah, it's not gonna stop me. There are some people that feel like they're entitled to it. And I think the one time I did not tip was recently when I was going to Florida. The lady that did my eyebrows, she messed them up badly. I haven't been able to get my eyebrows like waxed in a while. That's why they look clean now. It's because of the makeup magic.
Oh yeah.
She messed it up. She messed up my brows really badly, and I had to let them grow in a little bit. And there was just I have here in this eyebrow, my right eyebrow, I have a dent in my eyebrow right now. So I had to let my eyebrows grow in. I didn't give her a tip because I'm just like, you didn't even listen to what I said. I needed a semi like I needed a clean up and semi shape because I already had the shape. I just needed it like cleaned up and kind of slightly altered and everything.
Right.
Didn't do it. The guy who did my nails, the nail polish was lifting already. So it was just kind of like, I'm not gonna give you a tip because like you didn't even like it looked good when it did it, but then after it was just kind of like, you didn't give me a tip. I go, not a tip. You didn't give me what I wanted. I was gonna go back and give him at least $20. I'm like, yeah, you did my nails and everything. And I felt bad. But it was just like after a while, it's just like, dude, no, like you didn't do a good service. You rushed it and there was no one else there. So it's just like that whole rushing at the same time, too, is just like a factor for me in a sense. And if you don't
Right.
listen, that's the thing is that people, you got to listen to your customers too. You have to listen to your customers. You can't just do what you can't do what you want. It's what the customer wants. It's like if I was dyeing Molly's hair and I dyed it like, I don't know, a booger green or something, and she wanted purple, like a
Woo!
lavender purple. And I go, "Oh, you look better with this color." And it's just
Yeah,
like,
it's like I don't give a shit what you
yeah,
think I look
exactly.
better in. It's not what I
Oh, I look.
wanted.
It'd be like, oh, I look better in this color. You look better unconscious.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
see, that's the thing too. Like, it's a very delicate balancing act. Like, yes,
Yeah.
we as the service workers have to put our part in, but also the customer needs to like chill the fuck out.
Like, I get it. You're coming out, you're leaving your home. You're all dressed up, ready to go, paint the town, and you want to go eat with your friends and drink. It doesn't give you the entitlement of treat your waiter like shit.
Exactly.
It's like, and on top of that, if you don't have money to eat out, I mean, I hate to be that person. Don't go out.
No, you're right. If you can't afford to tip, don't go
Facts.
out to eat. Don't take up somebody's time, energy, and effort just to not compensate them the way they should be.
Yeah.
Like they're there to work. They are there to make a living.
Yeah.
It's a
And
really
they're also
crappy
there,
living.
which they don't have to, but that's what I like about waiters is that they make that moment special.
Exactly. And the thing is, the other thing about like working restaurants or being a server, the reason why a lot of people also do it is because it has a more flexible schedule. Like you can also balance life a little better. But then again, when you start getting too many crappy customers, you don't have a regular stable income. That's what it is. Like you're gonna either sacrifice your social life or you're sacrificing income, which is something else that was a big problem for me when I worked restaurants. Because anybody who works restaurants knows you're going to have to work weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when most other people are out doing things. And I have missed countless social gatherings. I have missed countless parties, baby showers, you name it. I have missed so many of them. And my social life suffered because of it, because I had to work.
Oh, yeah.
Then when I got the office job for that, year or two that I was there, it was so much better. I had weekends off. I had certain holidays off, and I was actually able to see people on a regular basis. Yep. It was great.
Oh yeah. When I was working in the kitchen, I didn't get to pick my schedule. I was lied to because I was in the same boat as you when you were working at Benihana. That when I started fresh out of school, like I said, fresh out of my internship, I was like a bushy little rabbit, all ready to go. I was like, yeah, I'm in the big world, working in the kitchen like a big person. I had to work nights. I had to work night shift. I had to work from 5:00 in the afternoon to closing time, so midnight. And then on weekends, Fridays and Saturdays till 3:00 in the morning. And I miss so much. My grandmother, who passed away in February of 2015, I believe.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I think you met her too, I think. She had Alzheimer's and dementia, and every dinner she would always ask, where is Alina? Where is Alina? Why is she not here? What's going on?
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah. And I mean, I personally feel like, because we kept telling her that, I work in the kitchen. She always forgets. So I got to the point where I used to think my grandma would think I would work in as a stripper at night, working the pole. And I'm just like, God damn it.
God.
And I was never home. So I was working the night shift because she didn't like that I was out of the house at night. I didn't either, especially in South Beach. People on Fridays and Saturdays are plastered and driving down the 95 like maniacs. And I'm, in my 20s, like enjoying this and all that. But it's like you miss a lot. You sacrifice a lot. You sacrifice not only your time and your weekends and your days off, but you also sacrifice your sanity too.
Sanity? What's that?
You sacrifice your sanity, man. I forgot. Fuck.
It's like,
and sleep.
I kind of got rid of sanity a while back as soon as I started stepping into a ring willingly.
Yeah. I mean, my sanity was gone when I started working. And the really messed up part too is that I picked up bad habits working in the restaurants, dealing with people who were just so disrespectful towards the waiters and the chefs and everybody in the whole restaurant. And going back to Art Basel sucked because a lot of people that would go there were always people that would not tip. They would just go there to flaunt their wealth with their friends and be like, oh, look what I got us into a high-end place. And,
I hate those types of people.
Yeah. And it's just, especially in South Beach, because it was just like, oh, look, I'm going to buy an expensive bottle of wine, but I'm going to also treat my waitress or waiter like shit. I'm also going to sexualize the hell out of them and treat them, like they're below me, but I'm not going to give them a tip because I don't feel like it. And it's like, yeah, that's your choice. You choose not to. But at the same time, seemed to me like if you've never worked in service or food and beverage, then you're not going to understand the shit that people has sacrificed to make your experience better or amazing or whatever you want to call it, classify it as. You're not going to understand it. You have to at least work once, in any of that. Because for Phil, it's like when you worked at the grocery store for a little bit and you got that tip, $2. I think I remember that they stopped, because I think after you probably left before this, but like I remember my mom telling me that you cannot tip the people the bag boys anymore. When they take the carts out, you couldn't tip them anymore. They weren't allowed
That's
to
bullshit.
Why the hell
That is
not?
bullshit.
Why the hell not?
That was something I think my mom told me, because she goes to Publix, and that's like a big staple in the East Coast.
Oh yeah, it is.
And the one that was by my house, my mom told me point blank, yeah, you're not allowed to tip the bag boys anymore when they take your carts out, because they even had signs posted for a little bit saying don't tip your bag boys, because they feel like it was kind of like messed up, because if you're in the middle of doing something and then you see someone walking out, you're expected like, oh, let me go run out there. I think it's because a lot of the workers will run out to go put stuff into the car, but it's just like they helped me put my stuff into the car. Like I can't give them a tip or something? Like that doesn't make any sense.
That's really fucked.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just remember somebody telling me that you could not tip your bag boy no more, and I'm just like, what? That's messed up. But
yeah, I think I'm gonna go with yes. Tipping culture has gotten out of hand. As the whenever you get to the closing statement, in my case, yes, it has gotten out of hand, very out of hand.
All right, Phil. And Phil, you were learning about it, but do you feel from what you learned the tipping culture has gotten out of hand?
Very.
I didn't know where there's honestly, I didn't know there were so many nuances about this. And it's not going to deter me from tipping. It just means if I need, it just strengthens my resolve. I'll keep tipping because I'm just going to assume that the last order that DoorDash that person did the person didn't tip them. I'll tip them unless they give me a reason not to.
Yeah,
I can't remember goddamn fry my freaking drink.
This man's not gonna let go about
tipping
that.
Culture has
hell no, hell to the no. No,
honestly, I don't blame you. I'd be pissed off too.
I will not forget my cool hair colored friend.
I mean, for me, it's like I see the same people almost every single day, and they're just like, "Oh, you again?" I was just like, "Yes, me again."
Yeah, it just starts to become a regular thing at some point.
At this point, here's the thing: if it comes to the point where you are familiar and friends with the person that's door dashing your food, you might as well just invite them to the next family gathering.
It's true, though. You're right.
Yeah, you should.
Hell, I
should invite me. Yeah, no, one more story real quick. One more tipping story, and then we're gonna switch it up. I had to pick up pizza. And you know how you remember when you were in school, you had that pizza party? Remember pizza parties in school?
You're making me hungry for pizza now.
Oh, I lived for those days. They make you earn it too.
It was a lot of pizza too. I remember this. It was a lot of pizza. It was about like 15 boxes of pizza, and I had to carry that shit by myself.
What?
15 boxes? Who are they feeding? The entire student body?
Probably.
No, it wasn't. It was for a factory.
Oh.
So I had to take these 15 boxes into my car, and I'm like making jokes with the pizza people, because like when I go to a lot of establishments, they recognize me right away. They're like, "Oh, you're the girl who came here." I'm like, "Yeah, it's me." And they'll start having small talks with me. A lot of people now are finding out that I'm Cuban. They're like, "Oh, you're Cuban?" I was like, "Yeah, you don't look it." I'm like,
they tell me the same thing. Sometimes people don't believe I'm Hispanic at all.
No, I'm like, I usually tell them, and I make jokes about it. It's like, yeah, sorry, I don't have a guayabera, a straw hat, a cigar in my mouth, un cubano cafe, just like, oh yeah, come on, let's go. And a lot of them were just like, why don't you speak Spanish? I go, because my Spanish is very sarcastic, and I feel like I'm gonna offend you.
Plus, so anyway, don't most people speak English over there? It's like you don't have to, really, right?
Yeah. Oh, here in Arizona?
Yeah.
No, everyone speaks English here, but a lot of times, which I have a story I'll tell you guys after we finish the tipping. Let me finish this one and I'll go back to it.
Yeah.
So 15 boxes in my car, got to the foot warehouse. I had to carry it out, like, I would say like about 10 and 5, so 2 trips. And yeah. And the guys, they come out and they're like, oh, thanks, bye. Gets inside, closes the door. I press complete because I had to hand it to them. And the total was like, I would say like $23. So I was like, okay. That was no tip though. I was like,
$23 for those 15 boxes, or that was the tip?
no, that was the total of how much I was going to get out of it.
Huh. Okay.
That's not math.
Yeah. No tip. So I was just kind of like, I kind of sat there and I go, you guys could at least invited me to this pizza party you guys were having.
Or at least leave me a box, god damn it.
Oh yeah, leave me a box or something. No.
Couple slices, shit.
Yeah, I was hungry.
Wait, depends on what it was. Was it pepperoni?
It was pepperoni, it was cheese, it was like meat lovers, veggie. It was like an assortment of different ones.
Okay, I'll eat a meat lovers or eat a pepperoni, but the second I start smelling pineapple, I was like,
yeah, I'm not a fan of the pineapple on pizza thing.
And just like that, I love her even more.
About that. Alina can pinch in. I look gringo / European AF. I look European.
I'm battling a tummy ache, so I can't be debating too long.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, no. But here in Arizona, no, everyone speaks English here because it's like a very rural area. But the place that I go to, the chef there, was talking to one of the other female door dashers. She was gringa, white girl, and she was watching them cook the meat in a pot, right? So she's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "What kind of like meat is that? What kind of food is that?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just boiling the beef, so I can shred it for the tacos." And she's like, "Oh, you can do it like that? I thought you had to put like meat in the pressure cookers, right? Like pressure cook, like like a crock pot."
Yeah.
And she was like, and she said the best thing, and I just started laughing. She goes, "I do it the white people way." And I'm like, I didn't say it. She did. I burst out laughing, and I'm like texting. Ooh, and I'm like, are you serious? And I'm just laughing my ass off. The white people way.
What is the white people way?
Crock pot.
That's it? Just
that's the white people way. And I'm just like, and she never knew you can boil the meat. So I was just like, I do that all the time when I make ropa vieja. You gotta boil the meat and you gotta saute that. And I'm just like, I just looked at her. So that's the guy. That was the one indication that when the guy looked at me laughing, he started figuring out that I wasn't just European. I was also Hispanic. And he eventually asked me, he goes, "Are you Hispanic by chance?" And I go, "Yeah, I am. I'm actually Cuban."
And I am offended by what you just told me.
I guess I'm Caucasian because that crockpot's a saving grace, especially after we season that bad boy.
Crockpot is great for certain things, but if you're doing something like that, no. But don't get me wrong, crockpots are great.
But I ain't gonna lie. If I was with you, Blondie, at that moment, I would start laughing. It was like, oh, the caucasity.
Yeah, that's what I was.
I said that in my head, the caucasity right at that moment. I was like,
absolute caucasity.
The lion, the witch, and the caucasity of this bitch.
So you guys are big fans of Keanu Reeves, right?
You mean the nicest man I ever met? So yes.
You met him?
Yes. You...
Yeah, surprisingly.
Wow.
You forget. I go to Miami a lot.
I mean, I live in Miami, but I never would have thought I'd have a chance of seeing Keanu Reeves.
It was a long time ago. But I think, but all I remember is that he's very specific on his coffee.
I mean, listen, the guy's like 99% absolute sweetheart. Everybody has a flaw.
Oh, fun fact! Did you know that Keanu Reeves actually voiced Batman?
Yes,
I think I heard that.
Yeah, he voiced Batman
specifically
in Super Pets.
In Super Pets?
Yeah.
That's so effing cute. Well, wait.
Oh,
Well, going back to what you were saying, Alina, why did you ask if we like Keanu?
Okay, so apparently Keanu Reeves is all over the media right now, and I have some
Why?
clips of that.
What
I'll
did they
just show
do
you
to
right
my boy?
Keanu Reeves has been accused by multiple women of extremely appropriate behaviour.
When I tell you unequivocally I was about to fight the whole internet of whoever accused him, don't do that shit to me.
I hate you.
I know. I
Read the
saw
Bible.
that.
You just debated the crap out of all of us.
I know. I'm sorry about that. I saw that on TikTok and I just started laughing because I was like, "What? What did he do now?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay. He's
Extremely appropriate behavior.
I am a huge
As-
fan of Taco Reacts, man. His like you can't tell me otherwise that in another life he was a brother. Like the sassiness of his was like I was about to fight anybody who's accused of Keanu
like,
Reeves.
I had seen somebody do something like that, but then I sat here just like, oh shit, this must be real. What the fuck happened? This bitch.
That's why I don't like headlines sometimes because like the
Blondie,
day that
you slippery one wet bastard.
here's the thing is that the day that because I actually did cry when he passed away, which was Leslie Jordan. When he passed away, I started crying because he was like a sweetheart and everything. He was in American Horror Stories. He was in Call Me Cat and everything. And when he passed away, because he had a heart attack behind the steering wheel and crashed, I was in disbelief that he died. But there was a
Why
headline.
is every celebrity that we love nowadays is passing out by heart attack?
I don't know.
Someone's got the death note. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, no.
Do we
This
need
person
to
better
file
not
an
put this actor's
extended
name in
warranty
here
on
then.
ourselves?
And that's Dick Van Dyke. You better not put his name in that because I mean I know he's 98 years old, but you know, knock on wood, the day that he dies, I'm not going to be on YouTube for quite some time because I'll be mourning the death of him.
That's pretty old, man. That's pretty old.
I know, but I mean Betty White almost made it to 100, and then
I know.
Death came knocking on the door like, "Hey, how you
Sorry,
doing?"
but you gotta go.
Hey, you're overdue.
We're supposed to be the queen.
But anyway, so have you guys heard about Cake Gate 2023?
Cake Gate?
Cake Gate 2023.
I think I know what this is referring to, but I'm
what is so much beef with cake? Everybody loves cake.
No. If it's what I think it is, there's a reason for it.
There was a reason. And when I saw this, I saw so many red flags. I was just like,
especially with the pastry chef. Can I try to guess what it is first? Because I think I know what it is. Is it the whole case of like that girl that created the rainbow layered sprinkle cake and it looked like crap and she charged like $80 for it? I knew it. I knew it was that.
It was that one. So this actually came on my feed when I jumped on one day, and it happened like about a week ago. So this is still on my feed.
Of course it is.
So I saw this and I'm watching the video and everything, and I'm seeing so many red flags. I'm watching. I'll show you the video in a second because I do have it.
I didn't see the video, but I saw people reacting to it.
This a homemaker by the name of Kylie. Kylie. She is from West Virginia, Princeton to be exact. Princeton, West Virginia. She is from there.
West Virginia.
Like, wow, very fancy. Very fancy. She was doing an online baking thing where she said that she was baking for her friends and family before she actually started baking for other people, and she would charge, cheap prices and all that, right? So she went onto TikTok to complain about a customer that she had gotten, and she claimed that the customer was just nasty to her. And let me show you that video. And 1 second. So this is, I don't remember who, but I'm gonna go find out who it is because I forgot. Okay, so this actually is from the girl itself. So this is actually from the TikToker herself, Kaylee R. Allen. So let me go get the video real quick.
Today I had one of the worst client experiences I've ever had since opening the storefront. This customer reached out to us via our Facebook page and wanted to order one of our 6-layer signature rainbow cakes. I started doing these even as a home baker, so I've been making them for a really long time. And we have a signature style to them. They always come with the 6 rainbow layers and then the vanilla buttercream and then covered with rainbow sprinkles. She went with the 8-inch cake that serves 18 guests, and that is $75.99. The one in the video is actually a 6-inch, and they are $65.99. Upon arrival, she seemed to be really surprised that the cake was covered in sprinkles. We explained to her that all of our signature rainbow cakes are decorated this way and covered in sprinkles. And if you want a saying, we just add it to the top of the cake with a layer of vanilla buttercream and black buttercream for writing. She then got super defensive and very rude about the price of the cake, although this is exactly how we decorate all of our rainbow cakes. She even bashed us and put us on her Facebook page. Also a reminder that we don't individually place each sprinkle onto the cake, so they may look slightly different in pictures.
So I can tell you right now all the red flags on that right away.
Okay, so I don't know about you, but it was just all frozen up for me, so I really wasn't able to see anything.
Ditto.
Okay, so it froze up for you?
Yeah,
Ditto.
it froze up for
Ditto?
us.
Okay.
But
All right, so for me, I saw it. So I mean,
yeah,
sorry
it's
about
okay.
that. So
I still
basically,
know
what it
the-
is
the
just
context of it.
yeah. So she basically was explaining that her rainbow cakes are done the same. All of them are done the same. And the one thing that bothered me was when she was putting the cake. The thing is that if you've never gone to school, I understand there's classes you can take and everything online, in person. Now a lot of stuff's online now. But the problem is that you take one class and you think that you're a master chef at this point. I went to culinary school for a year in baking and patisserie. That's a year class. If you want to do more of the cuisine cooking, that's about a 2-year course. Okay, so I did the 1-year course and that was it. But they teach you have to level out the cake, meaning you have to shave the cake on the top and then, all that stuff. So she didn't do that. That thing is literally doing a lean the entire time. When she was stacking up the cakes, I've done it where whenever I do a live stream and I'm baking, even if it's live stream or not, I always wear gloves. She's not wearing gloves once and throughout the whole video when she's putting the cake together. Now, I can understand if it was a cake for, let's say, like for you personally, and you're just doing it as a way to show, like, hey, this is how I do it.
Right.
But if it's for a customer, put your damn gloves on.
You gotta be gloved up the whole damn time.
You gotta be gloved up. The way she put the sprinkles, which ironically, we had Buddy, who was from the Cake Boss, the show.
Oh, shit.
He did a clap back at her and showed her how to properly put sprinkles on a damn cake. And this is where it got really interesting because the thing is that she pours it on top. If you remember seeing it, Molly, she pours the sprinkles on top and then pushes it down with her hands. Bare ass hands, mind you, still. And you're supposed to scoop and put on
and pour and then let it stick to the frosting. Yeah.
And she doesn't do that.
I've never even gone to culinary school and I know that shit. Like, come on.
Yeah. So it's like I started seeing this, and that was the first thing I saw was just the way she was setting everything up. Everyone was coming out of the woodwork saying, like, dude, you're not supposed to do it like this, this, and this. If I can understand if it was for you and you're just doing an example. Now, the customer came back with receipts. The customer came back with the receipts and showed that Kylie was basically the aggressor, basically gaslighting her and telling her that, oh, that's how we do our cakes. The cake looked disgusting, lopsided. The writing looked like shit.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if I can. Let me see if I can show you. If not, then I would just have to explain. Because real quick, people in the chat and the watching, were you guys be able to see the video itself? If not, then actually, you know what? I'm going to open that fee up. I'm going to open up here on this side. Let me see. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
No. Because I know I have to do a few things nowadays. There we go. I don't know why that's all the way back there because, wow. Okay, so I skipped the KK. Okay, I would have to wait and see. If not, I'll just watch it again and I'll just separate this clip and you guys can watch it later again. But customer comes back with receipts and basically it says, yeah, no, that's not the cake that I got. What I got was an abomination. And she went back and redid the cake herself and did a way better job. Now, people are going back and forth saying, well, I don't understand why you couldn't make the cake yourself. If, there's people that want to help small businesses. I love helping small businesses out. I had a small business at one point during COVID that I was selling baked goods for a short time and mailing them out to people. I wasn't really selling locally. I was selling, I was shipping them all out to my friends. And, I wore gloves, and it is a pain in the ass. People are saying that which people I'm like, goddamn, TikTok, internet people are quick. They were dissecting every video of her that she was putting up, and they found out one, that she was stealing other bakers' photos and putting it on her website on Facebook and claiming they were hers. And then when somebody called her out on it, she was like, no, 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 no. And this is where I started laughing. She doubled down and says, no, those are inspiration photos for my classes that I teach, showing this is what we're going to do. Now, you're not supposed to do that. I mean, people do different they do different things. They have their own methods and everything. But the problem that I have there is that if you're going to do a class, you should be showing your students your own work versus someone else's work. If it's someone that you got inspired, yeah, you do it. You say like, hey, this is an inspiration that I did from this person. And I did it. It's in my portfolio. Still give the person where credit is due. She is now, people are saying that all her cakes are not made from scratch. They're box cakes.
No.
Yeah.
Oof,
she was claiming that she said that she never wanted to have a storefront, and it's just like, well, yeah, but you still opened one up. So if you never wanted one, why did you open one up? But she has doubled down. People have from her past, they even said that she's the type of person that starts fights with anybody for no reason at all. And
Jesus Christ, man.
That's professional.
Let me see.
Not.
Oh yeah.
Extremely.
Nah. But it's just more along the lines of like, I understand when it comes to small businesses, it's hard. It really is hard to maintain it and everything, and get the people to come to you. But like, to make someone pay $85 and then give you a shitty product, that person who got that product, they were saying like, oh, you could have said something to them. It's like, sometimes people want to be nice, or they didn't get a chance to look at it. And then when they get home, they see it and they're like, what the hell is this shit? It's like, but let's see if we can do it. Because I have my thing open on this side. Oh shit, I remember where it's this one. Okay, so this one's half. I don't want to show you the whole thing because I don't want to, what was this one? I forgot. All right, so this one,
CakeGate has taken over my entire For You page, so let's talk about it. A girl ordered this multi-tier rainbow cake from this girl off of TikTok. Now, mind you, I don't believe this girl has any sort of credentials for baking. I think she said like she made these cakes for her family, turned it into a full-time business. However, this side-eye, this is terrible. I believe the girl paid around $75 for this and was naturally upset when she saw what the cake looked like. The girl ended up posting the receipts because the baker got very, very defensive. Someone needs to teach this lady customer service. I'm not saying you got to give her a free cake. I mean, you guys could just read these messages. But it gets worse. She ends up making a TikToker talking about this customer. And in this video, she's decorating a cake that was like similar to the girl's, which if you've ever seen how people apply sprinkles to a cake. Now, I'm not even a baker. And I know people you press the sprinkles on. You don't just dump them down over it. Other people were pointing out they hope that this is a cake for a family member or something, or just her, because clearly she's not wearing gloves. She goes on to show that this is the end result of the cake, saying that this is what all her cakes look like. Yet, this is actually not what that girl's cake looked like. It's similar, but not exact, which makes me think either one, she did not bake that cake. One of her other people who work for her did, because it almost looks like this one has piping on the bottom. Everything's completely uneven. I mean, this is a cake that I could make. The only special part about this cake is the fact that she dyed each layer of cake to be a different color. This is kind of what the inside looks like, which is cool, but it's something that you and I could do. I'm not a baker, so I'm not going to get into the nitty gritties. There's bakers who have commented on this, stating everything that's wrong with it. But I work in social media. This is not how you want your brand to look. Not just by me.
Lena, you're muted.
Okay, weird. I thought I had
There you
it
go.
muted. All right. There you go. Sorry.
You're good.
So basically, you saw it, right then, Molly?
Yeah. I managed to work.
No,
this
the
time.
video. Did you see it or no? Okay.
Yeah, the video is the one I'm talking about.
Okay, so that was weird the first time then.
Very weird.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
like it froze
basically,
up a couple
that's
times,
the
but for some
abomination
reason,
she
when I
got.
switched over to another tab, it started working again. It was really weird.
Okay, that's weird. But yeah, that's basically what she got. And a lot of people have been going through saying that she started doubling down. She didn't really address anything. She started saying that the customer was rude to her, vice versa, just going back and forth with pretty much the whole. And now it's just like people are finding, like I said, she buys box cakes. So there's nothing wrong. Sometimes, when you don't want to do something from scratch, a box cake is the easiest route. But when you have a store, like when you're doing like, a business that's supposed to be homemade cakes, it's like, why are you buying box cakes?
Exactly. That's the part where it becomes a problem.
Yeah. I am trying to figure out what the hell this video is. Oh, you know what? I just figured it out right now. I know which one that is. That would be our next story. I was just like, wait a minute, which is this one? Now I remember. So that has been on my feed. It is still going on. It is a still ongoing thing. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I've been keeping my distance because I'm like, I don't want to give my 2 cents about it because it's just like, everyone already has been saying it. It's like, yeah, you should have been wearing gloves. You should have handle it in a different situation. I remember when I started my own baking thing, I had one friend where she bought a cake and it was a Sonic cake and I did the green zone setup for it and everything.
Oh, cute.
And here's the thing. You put a syrup, like a simple syrup to keep the cake moist because if you don't, it dries out.
Right.
So I put that and I put a chocolate ganache and everything in the center. And then I did all different stuff for her that she requested. She had cut the cake, they ate it and everything, and then gave it back to me saying that she wanted a refund. I said, why? And she's like, oh, it was because it was raw and this and that. And I had to explain to her, I said, this simple syrup that I had to put. She wanted her money back, so I gave her her money back because I'm just like, I'm not going to deal with this. And it's just like I threw away the cake after because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. This is before, COVID and everything. But it's just like, because she said, oh, I could do a better job. And I always look at people when they say those words. I go, then why didn't you?
Right.
Like, if you could have done a better job, why couldn't you do the job?
Then do it yourself.
Exactly. Right? But I don't know. But this is going to be an ongoing thing. I might continue touching up on it every so often because there's always new stuff about it that is just like, Jesus Christ. But yeah. Phil?
Mm-hmm.
You saw?
I saw. And yeah, because one of my jobs back at the supermarket is that those chopped up fruit that's in the bowl that you eat, the individuals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was responsible for chopping that up in the morning to fill up the melon bar and everything like that. And you won't believe how many times I had to go through gloves. It was just looking at that, no gloves just triggered me.
It triggered me too. Like, I would not even want to touch that cake with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah. No.
Sorry about that. My dog just came in to say hello.
Even when I was doing my cookie business.
Hi, Wally.
Even when I was doing my cookie business, like, even if it was for like me or my friends that were in state, I would still wear gloves.
Okay.
Because it was like, it's a practice. Yes, it's a practice that you have to to be consistent with. But if you're going to be putting this on social media, even if it's to show that you're doing it, still wear gloves. Just wear the gloves.
She's got guts doing that. She's got guts.
Yeah.
I hope her hands were washed. That's all I got to say.
At the very least, yeah, I would hope that her hands were washed. Hopefully.
No, I mean, yeah, you can, her hands were washed, but even then, it's just common practice too. And that's something that I learned in culinary school, that you have to wear them gloves.
No, of course,
because going back,
of course, she's still in the wrong for wearing gloves, whether her hands are washed or not. but
Mhm.
it would at least like make me feel slightly better to know if her hands were at least
Exactly.
washed.
But
You know what
the
I
reason
mean?
why I'm so heavy on the gloves is because we live in a post-pandemic. Well, I mean, still in the pandemic, but it's like that extra layer of just safety, and you're working with my food. Is worse
Exactly.
because I see, like, you see at a Subway, they wear gloves the whole time. You
Of
see
course.
at different fast foods, like some of them do wear gloves when they're putting stuff together. Like when I was working in the kitchen, I would wear gloves to do the focaccia, like especially when I'm like, cutting it, putting it onto the sheet tray and poking the holes. I will pop on those gloves and then pop it, just do all the stuff I had to do, rub the oil and put the herbs on it and everything. But it's just like, and I'm sorry, I'm talking about food and you have
No, I had dinner. It's just when you talk about food, like really amazing food like that, it don't matter. I'm just like,
I'm hungry.
I still can't forget those deviled eggs you made on your birthday.
I think it was on the 21st. Love each other.
Huh? You're like breaking up. Hold up. Let me see.
But on the 20th, yeah, on April, just
you keep cutting in and out, so I don't know what you're saying, Lena.
I don't know.
I don't know if my reception here is starting to go to crap. I don't know.
No, it's my end. I need to get an adapter to get more Wi-Fi because before I was able to live stream perfectly fine, but I don't have it. I don't have it like plugged in like a hard, plug-in. I don't have it right now. My thing is in the living room, so I have to get an adapter.
You're all better now, at least.
Yeah, now. But on the 21st of April, she was giving out free sprinkle cupcakes.
Uh-oh.
So, and people were already talking shit about that part. So I was just like, oh shit. But yeah. Anyway, so I've been talking about this so many times already. Jonathan Majors update. So recently TMZ came out with footage. I'm debating whether or not I should even like show it because the thing is choppy right now. Of the person that basically accused him, his girlfriend, of, let's go real quick. Back in March, Jonathan Majors was arrested for allegedly assaulting his girlfriend in New York and was arrested the following day. There's now footage of her at a nightclub and texting him at the nightclub, drinking, dancing, everything. And the supposed injuries that she obtained was not visible. So basically, she said that she messed up her hand, but she was texting with the hand. She was picking up drinks with the hand, showing no
signs of injury.
No signs of injury. Now, this case is going to court in May. It's actually in court right now. It's going to go to court starting in May because more people started coming out saying that he was allegedly did the same thing to him, or they did the thing. He did the same thing to them. Sorry. And I've already talked about this. I already said it multiple times, and I'm not picking sides at all because of the fact that this is a good example of how the same thing with Johnny Depp and the AH thing that happened last year is happening again this year. And a lot of people want to pick sides already, saying that, oh, he did it, or no, he didn't. I'm saying until more proof comes out, more of this, now it's in court, let the justice system figure this out to see if it's true or not. If he did it, then yes, he has to, pay the consequences. If he didn't, a lot of people are going to owe him an apology, and a lot of people are going to have to take accountability for what they have said about him because they wanted that clickbait. Now, TMZ, I'm going to put it down below, but I'm going to see if I can. Let me see if I can do it. If I can't, then I'll cut it off real quick. It's right here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's official. There's new evidence proving that Jonathan Majors may have not put his hands on his girlfriend. Now, what evidence do we have to support this claim?
after their incident in the car,
where she says she suffered a broken finger on her right hand when Majors attacked her. But Majors' attorney says the video shows her doing shots, using her phone, etc., with no sign of that injury. And according to the documents,
all the while she's out partying, she is sending him text messages, never references anything about being injured, all jealous texts. She's accusing him of infidelity.
Boy, that's relevant too. There's more. They say the driver of the car will testify she struck Majors, and Majors never struck her in any way at any time or even raised his voice. And that Majors asked the driver to stop the car so he could leave.
He comes home at 11 o'clock in the morning and finds her, he says, half naked, passed out. When she wakes up, she says that she took several sleeping pills. He calls 911. Paramedics, cops come.
By this time, she has noticeable injuries. Major says body cam video shows cops asking her what happened, and she says, I don't know, 19 times.
He says one of the officers coaches her and says, so he did this to you? Only after that did she suggest that he had choked her.
I don't buy any of this story.
I don't either.
I want to hear it from the cops, the driver, and everyone else, not him.
What's weird is...
Now, with all that evidence, as I always say, we're still going to need more information because there is a court date coming up. But for all the content creators who have been jumping the gun, making accusations, etc., as I keep saying before, if he's guilty, he will be dealt with. But if he's not guilty...
All right, so like I said, I wanted to show a little bit of that, but my thing is that people are already assuming that he's gonna get recasted already, and it's just like they said that
nothing has even been confirmed. Like that's the thing I hate about is when people jump the gun like that. Like just because it is a common thing for the woman to be abused by men doesn't mean every single one is true.
Yeah,
because then that takes away from the men who also get abused by women.
Yeah,
which exists.
And we had a conversation about this, that a lot of people jumped the gun by saying AH was the victim the entire time. And then when he finally came out with his side of the story, it's like, oh shit, he's the victim as well. And I already said this, like he even said that he's not he's not a saint. He made a mistake too. He defended himself as well. And it had cost him a lot of money and roles that he had.
Of course it did. It cost him his Jack Sparrow role. That's probably the most important one of all.
Yeah. And I know Disney has come out saying that they wanted him to come back. That's all rumors, that they wanted him to reprise his role as Jack Sparrow. They wanted to apologize. They apologized to him on the side, saying like, hey, look, we're really sorry. We're sorry for jumping the gun, dropping you, cutting ties with you. And, we're just sorry. And now people are saying that, oh, well, Jonathan Majors now is going to get recasted and they have already people lined up. And I'm just like, we don't have enough information for them to even consider that yet. Like, I mean, great example is like, with Johnny Depp, is that they dropped him. And when the story started coming out of what actually happened, it was just more of like, oh shit, we messed up. There's the same thing with James Gunn. They got rid of James because of stories from his past that he had posted up, and people are digging, like reaching, because they don't like the director, going into his past and saying that he said this, this, and this, and he's like, yeah, but he apologized for that, or yet people, it's still not good. What was this? Oh, I'm sorry. What happened? Supposedly he was a kind of a shitty human being for what people have worked with him in the past had said. However, being an asshole isn't a criminal. If he had hit her, he didn't hit her. We'll see. Yeah. That's the thing. That's what also is that people who are coming out saying that he's a shitty person, and I'm using like air quotes on this because we don't know this because we don't work there. We don't work directly with him. You're going to have a diva on set. Okay. You're going to always have divas. My thing is I'm not a big fan of Jennifer Lopez. I'm not a big fan of hers. I
heard that she's like a crazy diva.
Yeah. I liked her when she was a fly girl in Living Color. And that's where she got her start. But then when she started getting into acting, that got into her head, thinking that she can do whatever, she can do it all. It's the same thing with Mariah Carey. I'm happy that she comes out only on Christmas, and then the rest of the year she's asleep. But it's just like when you have this diva personality, everyone's gonna think you're an asshole. You know, shit. When I played the Keanu Reeves, and you all think that something happened, and he was accused of being a horrible person, but he's just the sweetest person. TC, not now. It's TC pounding on the door like he wants to come in. I'm almost done. He's a good actor. It is like he is a great actor. It would be a shame if he did this. It would be a shame because this guy's career started in 2017. Like, and he's barely just started. And it's like I was saying in my solo stream, is that the faster you climb up a ladder or you climb up to success, the harder the fall is.
Yep, it's true.
And it's just more of like, we got to get more information of like what actually happened. And obviously this court that's going to be this court hearing is going to be happening in May is going to shed more light on that. Now, is it going to be just as big as the JD and AH case? I don't know. But a lot of people are going to be covering it.
Oh yeah. And that's my thing though. Like these people are jumping the gun, automatically going to he's guilty. But man, people are gonna have a lot of egg on their face if it turns out that they're wrong.
Right. I mean, there's people that have egg on their face and still won't admit that they made a mistake with the Johnny Depp and the Amber Heard thing. That there was people saying, "Oh, Johnny Depp is this," and then when they find out, it's just like, "Well, he's still." I'm like, dude, and we said this already. Listen, it goes both ways.
It does. It does. Like, yes, he's done his share of bad too. He's not perfect.
Yeah,
he's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But also, at least be humble and just admit, like, okay, we're maybe a little wrong.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you know what? I made a mistake. I did this, and this. Own up to it. I mean, Johnny Depp did donate money to domestic violence victims. She claims she did, but she never did.
Yep. That's
what a receipt.
Yeah, no, they were. That was the thing about the court, was that they were asking for all the receipts, and she couldn't even provide
a single one.
Nope. Same thing with Children's Hospital. She couldn't produce a single receipt. But this guy, Johnny Depp, he does charities and goes in costume, dressed up as Jack Sparrow.
Yes, he does.
And visits these kids. And it's just like, and there's photos. And it's just like, you can't produce a single receipt, but you can produce a letter from saying, hey, we never received the full amount. So it's just like,
that makes you look like, not only makes you, not only is it illegal to trick a charitable organization, because I'm pretty sure that's illegal, and two, the fact that you can't even get the full amount that you disclosed you were going to donate makes you a cheap ass.
Yeah. And no, but the whole thing with Jonathan is just like, we all got to wait and see. And for the people the content creators, I understand you guys want to do clickbaits because this is a big thing. He was in Ant-Man and the Wasp and the Quantumania, and he was just in Creed 3. And
great film, by the way.
Projects. Huh?
Great film, by the way.
Oh yeah. No, I haven't seen it, but I heard nothing but great reviews about it.
I can literally save you a trip. It literally, Michael B. Jordan based the two characters in Creed 3 off of Naruto and Sasuke.
Okay.
No way.
Nice. Okay.
I love that.
Because literally in an interview, Michael B. Jordan said that he introduced Jonathan Majors to anime, showing them the Naruto and Sasuke fight, and he's like, "Oh crap! I think I might like anime."
Somehow, some way, when you get introduced, you go down this rabbit hole of different animes, and you become a fan.
Oh yeah.
And my dog is barking because he misses Dad.
Aww.
Dad went out to pick up my grandmother. Wally, be a good boy.
But yeah, no, we gotta wait and see. So
it is. This is just a matter of waiting and seeing what happens.
Yeah, so most likely, if you guys know me, I'll probably end up covering this. So.
Yep.
I have no doubt.
Yeah. Stay tuned. So, I'm sorry.
Oh, I have something to add into the news story. Well, not this news story, but another one. First things first, as of today, the Mario movie, even before hitting Japan, has reached 900 million.
I actually saw the movie this weekend. And I loved it. It was so cute. And there was so many great little like Easter eggs and tidbits here and there. Like, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I can see why it has gotten the
popularity.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I say this because yeah, a TV station, I forget which country, is in big trouble.
What happened?
They aired the movie in its entirety a week after it released
No,
without the okay from Illumination.
no freaking way.
Well, here's the thing about that is that if you go on TikTok, you can actually watch people live stream like movies, and there's been people live streaming like the Mario movie in other
Oh, yeah.
countries. I've watched it already in Italian, in Spanish, which is hilarious to me. I was like, Jesus Christ, in Spanish speaking Mario.
I
What's
mean,
it sound like?
Italian's not too far off from that.
No, it's not. But it's really interesting.
No,
The Italian one gets me every single time. I was like, yes, this is perfect. We gotta watch Mario in Italian now.
Love it.
And I'm like, oof. Also, Nintendo did confirm more Nintendo films are on the way.
No way.
Yeah, there's a bunch more. But the thing is,
All I'm saying is, if you give Illumination the okay to make a Kirby movie, I will be so happy because Kirby lore is fucked up.
Kirby's gonna look adorable. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it might be cuter than the Minions.
Look, honestly, anything is cuter than the Minions. I'm not a fan of the Minions.
Apparently, Wally's not a fan of the Minions either.
He's like, yeah,
No,
I hate him.
but hold on, let me see. I just saw Ant-Man 3 and I was expecting it to suck based on the reviews, and I actually quite enjoyed it. Majors was awesome as yeah. And then,
that movie's on the back burner for me. Dude, no. Here's the order I'm thinking of, okay? We got Super Mario 1, right? Then we got the Donkey Kong movie. Then Super Mario Brothers 2. We introduced Wario and Waluigi. Obviously, that's usually the part of the course. Then we go into The Legend of Zelda. Then we get Kirby. Then we get Star Fox. And then it all culminates to Super Smash Brothers Part 1. Where it's just Nintendo 64, and then Part 2 will be Subspace Emissary for Brawl. There you go. We made money.
Yep.
We made it, boys.
We did it. Yeah, no, I saw when it came out, like, and I if you go, God, I like to repeat myself. I don't, but I have to. This is funny to me. I live in a very rural area, so I saw it with about 20 people in that theater, and it's one of those big theaters. And I saw it with no problem. So I go, I'm about to go watch this again because I had fun with it. When I went to go see Renfield, there was about like 8 people in there on opening day. And I was like, I'm about to go watch this too. So I was like, let me look at Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I go, this has to be sold out. This has to be sold out. No, it's not sold out.
What the fudge?
Wait,
so
it's
I'm
out?
like, it's not. Like, it's not even sold out ticket-wise near my house. There's so many tickets left, and I'm just sitting here. I go, I'm about to go watch it a day early with like probably like 8 people again.
That's kind of sad.
Not really sad. It's just the thing is I live in a rural area, so it's like the
very
countryside.
low population compared to.
Oh, you want to go see the space movie, Clem?
But no, it's like, but no. When I saw Mario, I had fun. It was a fun. I gotta go watch it again.
It was really fun. That's how I felt too. It was fun.
I am so behind on films.
Oh, so am I. Don't even feel bad. I'm very behind.
I need to see. Let's put it this way: the oldest movie that I have yet to see is like it fully in a sit down was Hobbs and Shaw.
Never watched it. And I was with Rock and the Rock and like what's the other guy's name?
Jason Statham.
Thank you. That man.
Apparently, from what people told me, it's literally the best film so far in the Fast series after Tokyo Drift because it's not about. Well, technically, it is about family, but
family.
I have not seen Quantumania, unfortunately. I have movie wise. Good lord. I want to see Dungeons and Dragons.
Same.
Oh, I want to see that one too.
The second time they made a Dungeons and Dragons movie. The first time was in '93 with Marlon Wayans.
Yeah.
Good God.
Oh, it was funny. I was great. I watched it like countless times when I was a kid. What is wrong, Wally? I can't. Don't worry, Dad will be home soon.
What is the problemo, my dude?
He just misses Papa.
Oh,
Oh,
poor
dog.
baby.
Yeah, he gets. Wally's a bit of a brat, but he's my little brat.
Oh,
I wish the camera was on so I can introduce
of
you to
course.
Wally.
The Peaches song is in everyone's head still.
Peaches, 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 peaches,
That was great.
peaches.
Honestly, it's not an exaggeration when people say Jack Black really carried that movie.
Oh yeah, no, he had to go to the hospital after because he carried that whole damn movie on
Yeah,
his back.
poor back.
He had to go for a severely injured spine.
Severely.
Oh, right next, like a hospital, right next to Angela Bassett.
Yeah. Also, Evil Dead Rising. I haven't seen an Evil Dead Rising movie in a while.
I don't
And
do horror.
It's been a long time. I like horror movies, but it's been a long time since the last Evil Dead movie I seen.
a lot of people saying it's really good. And the only thing is that people are cringing at this one scene, and I'm just like, I could have told you that a cheese grater is a really deadly ass weapon if you don't use it right.
I don't
So,
even know what happens with the cheese grater, but I heard about the cheese grater scene. I don't know specifically what goes on, but I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But like, a cheese
I
grater.
remember a cheese grater used in a wrestling
Grater is
match.
full of blades. So, hello.
Wait, a cheese grater in a wrestling match?
Yeah, I remember what it was. There was a match called I think I remember now. It's a match called the Monsters Ball, where basically anything goes, weapons are free. And I remember someone had a cheese grater
Oh no.
and basically uppercutted a dude up the loins, then pulled back. And I'm like,
I mean,
well,
Dude,
we don't have to worry about a
I
wax now.
I don't even have those types of loins, and my loin area just twitched in pain hearing that.
Well, look on the positive side, he doesn't worry about a wax anymore.
That is not a wax, my dude. A good
Nah.
wax does not rip skin out, bro.
That's just a skin lift
That's
at this point.
God. Oh.
I mean, I remember. Oh God, no.
That's your
I
card
almost cut
getting
off my
declined
finger.
after getting your tattoo done.
Oof.
Oof. Yeah, it's an easy way to get your tattoo off. Actually, just.
What is it? An expo marker?
Yeah. Just gotta.
I'm pretty sure the dude was fine. I'm pretty sure the dude was fine.
Oh yeah, no. But
the visual.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen Evil Dead. I don't know. I just heard a lot of good things about it. I'm probably gonna wait it out because when it comes to horror films, I like to go with somebody. It's like I can handle horror films, but I like to talk about it. And sometimes I feel like when it comes to horror films, I feel like it's too predictable for me. So I don't really like sitting through predictable films. But yeah. All right. So this was a last minute thing that everyone keeps sending me. And they're like, yo, you kind of left a little early from California when this happened. And I'm like, this is not the first time it's happened. While back, Disney World, their dragon caught on fire. A friend of mine was there. They didn't really see it. She was eating. Said, "Oh, are you okay?" The little animatronic dragon caught on fire. This one now, Disney World, over the weekend, they have this show called Phantasma. Sorry, not Fantasia, Phantasma, where it's just basically Sorcerer Mickey fighting Maleficent, and he's supposed to like throw like lightning bolt, and then she's supposed to like kind of like and then dies, right? Then all the other Disney characters come out and they have this whole water show and everything in front of Tom Sawyer's Island. So Mickey got a little savage on this point, and let me just show you. Okay, so it's another clip. God. This one's actually hold on. Let me pull up let me do a little credit for. This was actually from Chris on Trips. Okay, so
We're developing news out of Disneyland after a massive fire broke out last night, forcing many people to evacuate. Visitors were watching the final showing of Fantasmic when the Maleficent dragon caught fire. The flames started at its head before covering its entire body. Firefighters arrived moments later. Disneyland officials released a statement saying the cause of the fire is under investigation. There were no reported injuries.
Oh
that
my
Savage
God.
just barbecued the hell out of Maleficent. So
Yo, that was bad.
Hey, you know what they say? Flames can't keep a bad witch down.
Ah,
but
I'm
yeah,
so done with you, Bill.
Love
my
you too.
friend messaged me, bro, you left California kind of late, like kind of like a little too soon. I go, why? And he goes, because when he sends me the video, and I said, I already seen that like so many times because it popped up on my this morning, it just popped up, and I go, I'm not surprised because that animatronic has been around since 2003.
I would have hoped that they did maintenance on it.
They most likely did. I feel like it was probably a line like for the gas. I feel
Yeah.
like maybe the line itself got broken somehow or cracked, and then just everything just spews everywhere. I was gonna grab this other one that has the audio with it, like the whole fantastic, and you hear the character Maleficent, like her voiceover, just screaming as the flames are just engulfing her. And I'm just like, well, that's not just terrifying. How is it? Disney got savage now.
They got
Jesus
savage as
Christ.
fuck.
Slay the dragon! Slay the dragon! I'm just glad nobody got hurt because that might be traumatic. All the poor kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
That's
There's
what's important.
Oh yeah, no. There was footage of people going down Splash Mountain, which I'm still amazed it's still open because I know that the one in Florida just closed because they're
Yeah,
making
they're
way
changing
for
it.
to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which I'm like,
Yep.
okay, well, finally.
No, yeah, I
Wait,
like
whoa! Princess and the Frog finally get an attraction?
Yeah, they're changing Splash Mountain. It's not going to be Song of the South anymore, which you
That
know,
racist ass movie.
yeah, it was kind of a good move.
Oh, you think that's a racist ass movie?
There's a lot more, but that one was one of
there are
Disney's
others.
darkest.
The Crows and Dumbo take the cake. The
Wait,
Crows
what and Dumbo?
The Crows and Dumbo?
Oh, the Crows in Dumbo.
Yeah,
of course.
no,
The Crows look, Phil, like the Crows in Dumbo, yes, they're very on the freaking nose. But
It's
also,
Fat Albert.
Song of the South, literally, the one who's singing and all that, telling the story is supposed to be a SLAVE. That's pretty on the damn nose. But yes. To me, I think the ranking would be Song of the South at number 1, and then the Crows from Dumbo right behind them, right
And then
under.
right underneath
You're right.
that,
You're
you
right.
have
You're right.
Aristocats right after.
Oh, are you
Where
talking
is
about
the
the
Catholic
Siamese
racist?
cat?
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, then I think Lady and the Tramp's cats should be just above the Aristocats.
Well,
cat.
those two should be together because
we said Siamese,
Yeah.
if you please.
Which sucks because the song's actually very catchy. It's just the lyrics are not very good.
Wait, the cat and Aristocats. Are you talking about the one who played the piano with the chopsticks, like when
Yes, the one who goes
Hong-
Shanghai, Hong Kong, egg foo young.
That one.
Fortune cookie always wrong.
It's like y'all could have had him say literally anything else.
Yeah.
And even in the other line that he has, when Scat Cat makes the little kid blow the horn, and he goes, "Boy, he blew it." If you listen carefully, he's saying, "Boy, he brew it." He's saying it like that.
Well, it was also because of the reason why it's considered like inappropriate, like in those films. Because if you were to go watch them now on Disney Plus, they have disclaimers for those movies that we're just talking about, except for Song of the South. That's like deep in Disney's vault that's never coming out.
Oh yeah, no, they would never dare put Song of the South in any streaming service that they have ever.
But they have the disclaimers on them, and it's because each of the characters that we were talking about were voiced by white actors instead of getting the actors. But even then, it would have still been inappropriate. Yeah,
wasn't King Louis from the Jungle Book also voiced by a white voice actor?
A lot of back then, a lot of them were voiced by white actors. They weren't really voiced by anybody other than white actors of well, people of
I
color.
like King Louis.
King Louis was awesome.
No,
but
yeah, King Louis as a character and everything was great, but there is that whole undertone on what they're all supposed to be representing. Zippity doodah, bro.
Oh god, no. But yeah, no, they're changing Tiana. They're changing Splash Mountain to Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Yep.
Which is supposed to take place right after the end of the movie, where you're supposed to help Tiana find ingredients to like a recipe she's doing. So you're going through this whole adventure and everything.
Oh, that's cute.
And then most people overlook this, and I'm kind of like, they're doing a TV show for her as well.
No way.
Yeah, they're doing a TV show for Tiana coming out in 2024.
Honestly, I'm not that surprised.
Yeah.
Is it after the movie?
Yeah, it's like little little show that's
Oh,
about
no,
her
that means
life
no
after
more
the wedding
Dr.
and everything.
Facilier.
Huh?
No more
No, yeah,
Dr.
Dr.
Facilier.
Facilier is gone.
I know. But I memorized Friends from the Other Side. It's like one of my go-to karaoke songs at a con.
Yeah.
That and Clint Eastwood by the Gorillaz.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so yeah, a lot of the stuff in Disneyland, 'cause this is the original park. It's like a lot of stuff there is old, but that the Maleficent Dragon has been around since 2003, so it's pretty old. It's not that old, but pretty old. But yeah, I mean, we can go deep into Disney stuff, but that's my Thursday one. Thursday is like all live action stuff.
You save that for the Disney talk.
Yeah, I'll do more Disney talks. I like doing Disney talks with you guys.
There's some Disney lore that I kept in the chamber to save for that episode.
Okay, so you're gonna all right. So I guess I'm going to wrap it up because I'm hungry.
Eat, girl, eat.
I have to go eat. So let me go and do my my closing.
Yes,
all right,
ma'am.
guys. So that's going to be the end of my show. I do have one more show coming up on Thursday. It's going to be at the same time like today at stupid phone at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be talking about Disney live action films, and I personally feel like they're getting way out of hand with the lineups now. So be sure to check that out. I already said this in the beginning of my video. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that bell icon to be notified for that exact topic. And there is a bunch of other topics. There's one that I'm really excited because I'm bringing somebody in that I talk about so much, and a lot of people don't even know who the hell I'm talking about. Next month, the time is going to change. Instead of 4 p.m., it's going to be 5 p.m. That is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A little tidbit real quick. Arizona doesn't follow time zones. The only reason why I'm using Pacific Standard Time is because right now we're on the Pacific Standard Time. When fall kicks in and we fall back, I'm back on Mountain Time. So I really don't follow time zones. That's why I was confused the last time. So it's going to be 5.
It happens.
Let me think. Yeah. I want to say thank you to my special guests. I want to say thank you. God damn it. I want to say thank you to Motley, aka Purple Freckles. You can check her out on her Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, as well as the Clock app. She is very active on the Clock app because I see her things all the time, and they're super adorable. And I want to, kind of like dub one, but I gotta I gotta take the time. Do you want to mention anything about your streams? At what times you start streaming and all that, Molly?
Typically when I stream, it's Monday through Friday, and I usually start around 8. That's like my most consistent time. I do strive to try to like start earlier or anything like that, but usually consistently it'll be around 8 o'clock. And I am currently playing Resident Evil 4 Remake. So
all right.
If y'all want to see me get the poo-poo scared out of me.
Everyone's playing Resident Evil today.
What chapter are you up to?
What chapter? Oh god. I think I'm on chapter 5 or 6.
I'm on chapter 4. I just beat the lake I just beat the lake monster, so I'm up to I just started chapter 4.
Okay, wait, I'm probably a little further then because I'm already in the castle. So I don't remember which chapter I'm at, but I'm pretty far in right now.
So you've been hanging out with Lewis then?
No. Oh, Louis. Yes, you're right. Sorry. I was like, who's Lewis?
the Hispanic.
Oh
doctor.
yes, the other daddy. Okay, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I've seen the comparisons of how he looked in the original, and now I'm just like, damn.
Oh,
What is
Leon
up with
too?
you, Capcom, and making all your characters attractive?
Oh well, I mean, I always thought Leon was attractive,
have
but
you
now
not?
he's like in high
So,
definition, and I'm like, oh, Leon.
so we're just gonna forget Nico from DMC5. So we're just gonna forget my girl Lady.
No, we're not.
DMC is great, but like Resident Evil has a special place in my heart. And
I'm sorry, Ada Wong.
no, Ada looks gorgeous. I love Ada. She's gorgeous, but men are my cup of tea. So like I look at Leon's arms and I'm just like, ooh.
Have you seen his villain costume?
Yes. Oh, don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that.
I'm playing the game wearing that costume. Wait, Wally.
I'm this close to downloading a mod to get shirtless Leon.
You don't need to get a mod. You can get that. You can get that at the store.
Shirtless Leon?
I believe so.
That doesn't exist.
No, that's a thing. It's actually there's
Not on the
thing.
actual store.
No, you have to. No, I'm wrong. You have to unlock it.
They made it an unlockable.
Oh, there's a lot of
believe
costumes
it-
you can
I believe-
unlock. They have the dark romantic one, which is like
But those you can purchase. Those skins can be purchased. Shirtless Leon, I could have sworn was a mod.
No, you can unlock shirtless Leon.
Hmm.
You can give him little cat ears too.
Oh my god.
Down Freckles.
Way down. I am down horrible.
Anyway.
Me, I'm going through RE4 remake, and I'm also trying to finish up Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh,
fun.
Nice.
Um.
Oh, anyway, sorry, zoned down. Anyway, wrapping it up.
Yes.
Also, I want to say thank you to Phil, aka Slash. This is his
Mhm.
social. You can follow him on Instagram as well as the Clock app. He is very prominent on Clock app as well. I've been noticing as well. I got to get on my ass on that time too.
We're trying to get the 5,000 followers here before the government closes me.
Also, is there any upcoming shows you want to promote?
Yes, our very next show is gonna be Cinco de Mayo.
Cute.
It's at the Art in Motion Jiu-Jitsu Academy in Miami, Florida. Friday, May 5th. It is CCW presents Cinco de Mayhem.
Nice. I actually like that.
I love that.
Cinco de Mayhem. I
It's
like
so
that.
corny, but it's so funny.
But it works though.
It does.
And then the day right after that, May 6th, we're back at the Unbranded Brewery in Hialeah for Bash at the Brew.
Oh, nice. That's actually a good clip. So, you heard them, people. You guys want to check it out? Check out ccwwrestling.com for more information regarding all the shows that are coming up. Cinco de Mayhem is actually what's caught me right now. I'm just like, I'm about to go fly out there just to go see Cinco de Mayhem.
Cinco de Mayhem.
Cinco de Mayhem. You gotta have like a person with a really deep voice, the commentary, just Cinco de Mayhem.
We need a Spanish announce table just for that.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, real quick, as I popped this in and popped it right out, you can also unlock nude Ashley.
I don't care about freaking unlocked for Ashley.
Can we get a nude Ada Wong?
Can I get a nude Leon?
Down, girl.
Just hey, y'all get your nude Ashley. I want my nude Leon and Louise.
I'm not touching nude Ashley. She looks underage.
No, you're 1,000% right. That's why I still could care less about Ashley, but Leon, and Louise. Ooh.
Like, if you were to make me pick the most attractive girl in RE, I may have to go with Sheva.
Oh yeah, Sheva.
Nah,
as much as I want to redo Resident Evil 5, there's people that don't want them to do a remake of Resident Evil 5.
Dude, the multiplayer would be sick.
It would.
But also, I understand why, because
Nude Ada for the win.
Pocket Miller, know what up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's wise not to do an RE5 remake, is seeing where they are and who they're shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm like, probably shouldn't do that.
I don't remember duty about RE5, but I'm on.
RE5, they are they basically
They're
fight zombie
in Africa. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Cue Toto.
Oh no!
Yeah.
The rain's getting blessed over there are bullets.
Anyway, I am going to log out. God damn it.
I'm sorry, I'm the worst. I'm
High five. High five. That was the greatest. High five.
really quick.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I will see you guys in my next stream on Thursday. I'm going to be talking about with one other person. As well as Phil, you're joining me on Thursday?
You better believe it.
All right, Thursday, Phil will be back to talk about live action Disney movies. Is it getting out of hand? Also, I'm going to be having, I have to double check with him actually. I think he's from oh my god. I don't want to say, where is it? Red 5. Sorry, I was about to say Big Red 5. I was like, no, Red 5. It's a podcast streaming service. He's gonna be joining Scuttly, but this guy, his name is Scuttly Butt. Is his channel name? I call it Scuttly Butt, but I'm just like Scuttly. He's gonna be joining us to be talking about Disney live action films. That's gonna be Thursday. And then in May, time, like I said, it's going to change. So for now, it's going to be 4 till last show is going to be at 4. Anyway, I'm Lena Corrales. I will catch you guys in my next stream. I love you guys. And also, please, please, please be kind and rewind. And I will catch you guys next time.
And tip your door dashes.
Yes, tip everybody.
Tip your damn servers, man.
Please.